Welcome back to ReConnected. I am still Matt. This is still Lewis. Silence as always. Good to know. And this is still Josh.
I didn't realize we were changing up the order.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd shake it up after a certain someone complained last week.
I won't respond until I get third billing.
Are you kidding
You
me?
just responded.
Fine. I'm Matt. This is Josh.
No. I get third billing.
Oh my god! This is the
It's the fight for third.
The fight for third.
I want bronze.
What happens if I'm third? What if I introduce you
It's
to?
one of the great mysteries of like film and TV. Is do you want first billing or last billing?
Ooh.
Because if you get first billing, it's like, oh, that guy's important. He's at the front. But you get last billing, he's important. They saved him for last.
Yeah.
So
But
really,
you got the guy in the middle is like
suboptimal.
The guy in the middle is just always the one that's left out of everything.
Yeah, that's
know
why
who
Josh
you
is in the
are.
middle.
Oh. It's okay. It's less impactful. There are already
sorry,
three
Josh.
of us. They can see it all
Well,
on one.
I say we're sorry,
on
but
one screen.
let's face it, we're not. We're just not.
Oh well. A
So,
life
how
in
do
the
we feel like-
background.
How do we feel like last week went then, everyone? How do we feel?
Well,
Terribly.
as if I'm going to genuinely tell you, I think it was a terrible episode and we shouldn't have done it.
Well, to be fair, Lewis, when it comes to you, that is the sort of thing you could say because it's
Yeah,
you.
but I wouldn't say it live.
I don't know.
say.
I don't know.
I told you we should have done philosophy, and then as I listened to the philosophy bit, it was still pretty terrible, so we probably shouldn't have done philosophy. Like, yeah, it's probably true, but
Okay,
I'm
on
not
the
gonna
philosophy
say
bit.
it.
On the philosophy bit, I will say that I'm willing to go back to philosophy, but only once that I've actually prepared and gone over philosophy, because I haven't done philosophy since like the second year of college. And listening back, I realised how not misinformed, but I wasn't structuring things correctly.
What Matt's trying to say here is we both independently came to the conclusion that Matt wasn't prepared for the topic you brought up.
Basically, yes. I decided to jump down a well that I was not prepared to dig myself out of and just found myself at the bottom of.
But isn't that the spirit of this entire podcast?
Pretty much. And
Where does
also,
that put me then? If you dug the hole deeper,
I dug the well, threw myself into it, and dragged you down with me.
I don't think I got dragged down. I think I made my point quite clear.
It's either that or you willingly...
I didn't at all.
Okay, it's either I dragged you down with me or you willingly jumped after me.
I didn't... It's the whole
It
philosophy.
was more willing.
I think it's more you willingly jumped after me.
Yeah, the
What
whole
does,
philosophy.
what does the digging represent? If the hole is philosophy, then yeah, I went down it, right? But that was mainly just to hurt Matt.
So you just you jumped down the hole to fall and kill
I
him.
think
Onto
I
him.
think
Okay.
I actually legitimately started to get annoyed last episode when you started.
When we were preparing
Literally.
for the show today. We've been like setting up our website and uploading some podcasts.
We're like
And
3 hours
so
late on
matter.
recording.
We're like 3 hours late on the recording, so if we're a bit, tired and disenfranchised,
My
that
fault,
would be
by the
why.
way. Completely my fault.
Yeah, you didn't turn up to the prep session that's happened every week for 9 weeks. We just forgot about it.
Getting a
True.
bit of insight into the background.
To be fair
Right?
to him, he hasn't turned up to all of the. He hasn't turned up to others as well.
That's true. He's consistent how inconsistent he is.
Listen, guys, okay? If anyone's going to be consistently inconsistent, you know who it is.
Yeah.
You,
Of course.
exactly.
Thank you.
But we were talking about, like, last week and, like, how we felt
Oh
it was
my
going
God.
in a less structured sort of, less nice way. And
That fun
we went
time.
a little bit into it again. He could not contain himself.
Well, no, because it was just annoying because I was just trying to put forward a scenario and getting you to choose a decision. To choose a choice either way, and then you were deciding to try and throw every single procrastinating snippet little detail at me just to try to get me to redirect the entire scenario. So instead of you've got one healthy patient and 5 sick patients, but you can organ donate from the healthy patient all the needed organs to save the 5. Do you make the choice? And then this guy starts turning around and saying, "Oh, but are the organs actually viable? And then I'm like, it doesn't matter. And then you're turning around and going, oh, but it does actually matter because it's the details of hypotheticals that really make the difference. And so then we end up having a whole discussion on whether the actual organs are really viable or not, and the percentage and probability likelihood that the entirety of the guy's body being donated for organ transplants and how likely that would be able to be done. And you get the idea. Not only that, but also we got into a scenario where instead of trying to say 5 versus 1 in a trolley cart situation, we had just a drifting train across 2 tracks.
Multi-track drifting is the only answer to the trolley problem.
That's true.
So yeah, in short, that's the reasons why I was getting annoyed last episode. And I'm sure there are people out there that can empathise with my situation.
So people who have listened to the show may have noticed my role on the show is a provocateur.
That's your role in life.
I'm the willing subject of that provocation. We basically said before this episode that Josh is the mediator. Like, Josh and I on a podcast, fine. Lewis and Josh on a podcast, absolutely fine. Lewis and I on a podcast, whoo!
I think it's
fun.
important
I dread
to
the
note,
disconnected episode.
it will never happen. Because there'll never be a week that you don't turn up that we won't be able to rearrange it to, like, have me and Matt on a podcast.
I don't want to think about what the podcast would sound like if it was just Lewis and I.
Incoherent rambling.
Pretty much, yeah.
I want to mention...
no, it would be
real
incoherent rambling just from me, and then you butting in every 5 or 10 minutes with a single statement that just sends me on another spiralling rant.
So me and Matt are very different people, if you can't tell.
if it's not already evident.
I quite like the details of the problem and working towards a pragmatic solution. Matt likes talking about the problem until it doesn't resolve itself.
Wow. Even in explaining our differences, you still manage to find a way to make me sound like the arsehole. And I don't know whether that needs to be censored by Josh, but you're welcome for that one either way.
Okay. So, what it felt like as well before with you trying to get like more to the details is like you were trying to prevent yourself from getting got.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Do you really think Matt is like going to go, got you, there's all these other things as well that you didn't think about?
No, I wouldn't. No, but you can bet your bottom dollar Lewis would.
Like, it's just a simple, like, little, like, here are the very basics that you need to think about.
I called you on this last week, and I'm going to call you on it again this week, which is I don't think the question is as simple as you make it out to be. Without going philosophy again, this will be over briefly. I think when
cut to the meme of like 15 hours later.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe the entire show will be this. But so last week I made some hyperbolic statements like a philosophy has no point, blah 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 blah. Right? We all remember. If you don't remember, go back and listen to it.
A little bit of an understatement, but continue.
Do listen to episode 3. Very good. We'll get here we go.
If you do. Here we go. It has to get it in somehow, doesn't it?
Gotta get it in there. It's the first one.
Might be worse. You might actually remember the hour mark.
I might remember the hour mark on this time.
God help us if he does.
So I'm going to clarify that statement a little bit more, because I like definitions and I like nice little boxes. So
you can really tell that you and I do very, very different subjects at uni, can't you?
To a degree that you can. But so when I say a philosophical question, some people might say, well, this thing about like, would you take the organs from one man and say 5, but you could kill him in the process? That, to me, doesn't come under a philosophical question, because it's more actionable than that. It comes under, like, a medical practice question, right? So, to me, that's not philosophical. In the same way that,
for me, philosophical
the train one isn't entirely philosophical, because, like, self-driving cars will have to deal with this problem in the future.
Well, I mean, for me, philosophical isn't just in the realm of the hypothetical. Philosophical can be applied to everyday kind of actions, because that's really where it's needed.
I think it's too broad when you do that.
If you were debating philosophical points as just a matter of just scholarship, rather than it actually having any application in the real world, there would be very little meaning to philosophy. But the fact that you can actually have these kind of instances occur in real life, and that these kind of decisions sometimes do actually need to be made, is kind of the poignant part of philosophy.
Isn't like so you're wanting to like know a lot more about what's happening in this scenario, but isn't the point meant to be? isn't the point meant to be to get a generalization of like the entire population's like morals on that situation?
The point I was trying to get
like
to basically last episode
then kind of defeats the point
to briefly outline what I was going to get at last episode before I was slightly derailed, pun intended.
I don't think you were slightly derailed. I think you were on two different tracks and you didn't realise it.
Oh my god. That was actually half decent of a pun, but I still hate you for it. Anyway, basically, what the point I was trying to get across was that when it comes to the trolley cart situation, between being at the steering wheel and pushing the fat man, the difference is that hang on, bear with me.
Sorry,
I do know where you're going with
just
this.
funny to me.
I just want to
The point
I understood
is
what you were going for. I just rejected it.
Okay. The interesting point is that when it comes to most people's opinions, they will usually, as a trend, when they're at the steering wheel, change the tracks to kill the one person rather than the five. However, if they are required to physically push a person in front of the train to stop it, they won't, because they see that as a lot more of a personable action, even though really the actions are kind of the same in that they're both a physical action that basically changes the train's, I guess, movement in order to save 5 lives by killing 1. It's just that in the second instance, you're initiating that action in a far much more, I guess, intimate way.
Yeah.
And then you can change that situation like we did last episode so that it could be like a medical situation. So I think we had 2 instances last week, didn't we? So one of them is that you have 6 patients come in, all injured. 1's critically injured and 5 are not critically injured. You're the only doctor on call, and you can either spend all of your time saving 1 patient and lose 5, or you can save the 5 patients but lose the 1 critically injured one. Or you could have the other instance we went for, which was 5 patients, all needing organ transplants, and the only person you could possibly get the organ transplants from is a completely healthy patient in the ER and or the A&E if you're in Britain. And in order to get the organ transplants, you would have to kill the healthy patient and get all 5 organs to transplant into the 5 patients, saving 5 by killing 1. It's all the same sort of principle, saving 5 by killing 1.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought up this option one, because I had forgotten about it, and I did have something to bring up on this point, which is...
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I think, so with the first example, because the second example, I think we can all agree, is a perfectly valid thing that could happen in real life consistently, right? And there aren't many solutions to this problem that aren't just...
Oh, yeah, I think definitely the 6 patients coming in and they're all injured, and you either save the critically injured or save 5. That is very much a situation that could happen. Triage situations obviously happen, especially in like major disaster situations all the time.
Completely missed what I said.
Wait,
I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying the opposite, Matt. What I'm saying is the organ donation one, that one's valid from my perspective. As like a hypothetical question, I think that one's fine. The one I don't think is fine is the 1 critically injured 5 not so critically injured one, because from my perspective there, the only difference is you're the only one on call, which means the actual solution to the problem is not save the 1, it's
okay, fine,
have more doctors. And I think that that's the problem with philosophy in some ways, is they want an answer that isn't actually one that would solve the problem in a neat little bow.
Okay, so
we could have 1 doctor treat 1 critically injured patient and ignore the 5 others, or what we could do is we could have 2 doctors and 1 treats both groups.
Okay, so just to say, so that's just a simplification of numbers. In real life, I mean, for a quick example from history. So, for instance, at Pearl Harbor, when Pearl Harbor happened on the 7th of December, 1941, obviously you have a sudden attack by the Japanese Navy, and you then have thousands of sailors injured that are flooding into the hospitals. And at least I don't know if this is actually historically accurate, but at least in terms of the film, not that great of a film, by the way. I mean, it's kind of entertaining, but in terms of historical accuracy, it's not historically accurate. But I'm not sure if this particular point is that basically the nurses were not ready, and they were then running around basically labeling all the soldiers with their lipstick they were labeling with a certain letter, and one letter would have meant that they were basically walking wounded, another letter meant that they could be treated, another letter I think was F, which basically was fatality, which basically meant that they were dying and don't treat them because you're going to be just wasting resources. So that kind of decision has to always be made in triage situations. Not necessarily, you're the only doctor on call, say 5 versus 1, but certainly there are instances where it's like, you could help this patient, but they are going to die either way.
Okay, so I appreciate that perspective. I will just point out that the context in this is military operations, which means that you have a goal, which is to sustain the highest military quote-unquote might that you can. So in doing
Any soldiers you can put back into the field, you put back in, yeah.
You save the soldiers that will increase the might the most. So looking at every injured, let's say you're a robot, right? And you've got like a grand view, you're playing a grand strategy.
You're Jarvis.
You're Jarvis. You look at all of the soldiers and you go, okay, we've got like X healing units, and we have Y injured like soldiers. And it, you know,
and you have
if X is greater than Y,
yeah.
then everyone can be healed. If X is less than Y, not everyone.
And you also have Z amount of resources,
right? So
yeah,
that's the situation you're in. At that point, in terms of military context, you were trying to maximize the number of like units you receive back after the battle. And
okay, yeah, sure.
So that's how you would make that decision. And there's no real philosophical debate there, because you're aiming. When you have a goal, decisions are easy.
Okay,
to make.
well, how about
I think philosophy lacks in areas because generally it doesn't consider what the actual goal of the exercise is.
Okay, so
is the goal to save lives? Do we need these lives for a purpose? That's why the details matter to me. Is that like that decision is more difficult when everyone is an equal civilian, and then it's just numbers and charts.
So to make everyone an equal civilian, you can take another example, which would be quite easy to take from history, which is obviously 9/11.
I knew you were going to pick 9/11.
Well, it's the most prominent kind of instance where you can have thousands of civilians all injured in some giant triage situation. I mean, it's the one that comes to mind. I mean, you can go with the British version like 7/7, or I don't know,
some attack, yeah.
Yeah, some sort of terrorist attack like that. Obviously, 9/11 is the most famous one. So you're in a hospital in downtown New York. 9/11's just happened. You have literally thousands of people rushing into the hospital with injuries. And the same sort of situation plays out. You label some as walking wounded. You have some that you treat that you believe you can save. And then you have some that are just dying that if you treat, you're just going to be wasting resources. But everyone's an equal civilian. They're all innocent, and they all equally have just as much of a right to live. Who do you treat?
So just to clarify, in the parameters of the question, when you say everyone is equal, they all have the same job, all same age, same gender, everything's the same.
Let's say that all the patients you're treating are all basically working the same job in the same building on the same floor. Different ages and genders.
You just maximize the number of people alive at that point.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Right.
So
the game you're playing there is to maximize life.
Okay, so at that point, that kind of an answer is obviously a utilitarian one. And basically, this is really what this kind of example would get at in philosophy, which is basically a consequentialist versus a principalistic form of morality. So a consequentialist theory of philosophy basically focuses on the outcome of the decision to determine its morality, which is basically most famously influenced by utilitarianism, which was theorized by a very famous 18th century philosopher, British philosopher called Jeremy Bentham. And then you have much more principalistic theories, which really are centered around Immanuel Kant and deontology, if that makes any sense. So basically,
you forced me to look it up last week when you brought it up.
Yeah. So and you'll put it back into this one as well.
Thanks, Matt.
To summarize very quickly, basically Bentham and utilitarianism states that you do what is the greatest good for the greatest number, and Kant created a theory called deontology, which basically looks at what your moral duties are. So, for instance, Kant said that you can't lie because if you allow lying to be morally permissible, then it negates truth. Or for instance, if you allow theft to become morally permissible, you negate the principle of private property. Hopefully that makes sense. I won't go any further than that, but
yeah, I'm not going to get that's like too much philosophy for this podcast 2 weeks in a row. So I'm not going to get into that, even though I do have opinions on it.
Yeah, that's as far as I'm going to delve. That's basically the difference. Those are the two general main parts of philosophy. So that's your weekly course in philosophy, courtesy of
my quick wrap up here, as Matt has had his, and Josh may want his, but I doubt it.
Yeah,
I have nothing
this is
to
the
add.
this is the one instance where because usually
I've been
you and
silent.
Josh, it's usually you and Josh going on anime for like 30 minutes and I'm silent.
It's not.
When it's going,
It's not 30 minutes.
okay, yeah, not 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm usually quite quiet when you lot are talking about anime because I don't watch it. But this is like the opposite instance where it's me going at philosophy with Lewis.
So
Yeah.
my quick wrap up on this philosophical discussion is I'm fine with philosophical discussions provided some parameters as like some goal is supposed, right?
You want
Okay.
to have like a believable and acceptable context to them.
An acceptable context is like it's optimal, but it's not required. But I think that the main thing that I care about is what is the sort of in some ways the context. It doesn't have to be too believable though. Like you could literally provide me like a real-time strategy game and like moralize that and say,
Okay.
well, we need X troops and whatever. And that works for me because there is like a solvable solution for what someone is trying to achieve, as opposed to just what should we be trying to achieve? Because I think that's a boring question because it goes in circles forever.
Well, is that a moral kind of dilemma?
Isn't that
'Cause
like
real-time
all Kant
strategy-
does, right? He's like, what should we be doing, as opposed to how can we best achieve it?
But that's not.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I think that's the thing, is that philosophy is like they're both. This is what I said last week: is they're both wrong and they're both right. Although I probably didn't phrase it in as polite a way because it got very heated last week. Well, not very. It got a little bit heated last
I
week.
was going to say not very. We've had more heated discussions than that.
We've never had angry discussions. I would like people
No.
to know if me and Matt are arguing, we're not fighting.
Yeah, it's never actually anger. It just basically it escalates only to extreme frustration. Usually on my part.
Yeah, one side may be actively causing it on the other. But I think
It usually gets to a point where Lewis realizes that if I say this, I might be able to start pissing Matt off. Then says it, then I start getting pissed
Yeah.
off, and then it just ends up with me ranting
good content.
because Lewis, not even good content. You just do it naturally in real life. You'll be like, aha.
Good content. I didn't say that for anyone
Literally.
else. For me.
If you lot could have seen our lunchtime discussions at secondary school lunchtimes and college lunchtimes especially.
They were. I'm
Interesting.
surprised we
It
didn't
was
get kicked out of the
interesting.
lunch hall.
But no, it wasn't that bad.
Was
No.
we really obnoxious though? Because we sat by the door.
I mean, that's true. Yeah, anyone coming into the lunch hall got an earful of usually me going at Lewis saying, what the hell are you talking about?
It's funny. It's like a typical angry nerd table.
Pretty much, yeah.
We're not angry. We're frustrated. It's very different. We're frustrated
Yeah.
nerds.
But it appears.
Yeah, exactly.
It appears angry to everyone else.
I mean, yeah, it appears angry, yeah, but but I think it only appears angry because Lewis is usually quite serious and I'm very loud. So my frustrated voice is
Yeah.
most people's shouting angry voice. And then Lewis acts so serious that everyone thinks that he's really serious. What they don't understand is that his humor is deadpan sarcasm.
I
So he's
still
actually
can't
trying to be
decipher.
funny.
I've got a silly side, but like if I'm trying to aggravate someone, you don't start laughing.
No, you
Keep
don't.
going
He-
because
he
once
doesn't-
you start
he-
laughing, they realise, oh, he's just screwing with me here. But if you just go deeper and deeper and deeper, they just how do I react
He,
to
he,
this?
he
I
doesn't
can't-
break character.
I've
I
got
can't
them down to my
decipher it
level, and I've
still.
beaten them with experience.
He
It's
doesn't break
still-
character.
No, he's very good at just being like completely stone faced.
We've played a couple of like social games, right? We played like Secret Hitler and
Yeah.
we've played some poker and what's the other one?
Oh, I suck
Jarrett-
at
Wait,
it
hang on,
so
have
much.
you played poker?
I'm pretty good at these games.
I
you
suck
played
at them
poker?
so much.
I can't remember us playing poker. I played poker
Oh,
here with
I've
poker.
played, I
did.
played poker with like Alyssa and that.
No, didn't we? We
Oh, they'd
played
be
it.
useless. I'm
we
sorry,
played
but
it at lunch.
Alyssa and Pet
We,
Bet
yeah,
and that
we
lot
we
would
did
be
actually play in
useless.
secondary school. We played a lot of, well, not a lot. We played some poker. I'm pretty good at it because hard to read my face.
Yeah. We played with
Alyssa
pencils.
and
my
Pet
voice.
Ben and that lot would be useless at poker.
They're not terrible. They're just not great. I think
I've
so. I think it's important to note this is like low-level bad poker, where it isn't so much about statistically knowing what your best cards are.
I'm not
it's
saying
much
like,
more about bluffing your way through it. Like
exactly,
which is why I think Secret Hitler and Sheriff of Nottingham are much better games for this, because
that's
you
why
have
I was
to
saying
just
they'd be
lie
useless.
through your teeth.
That's why I was saying they'd be useless, because them lot, you just be reading through them in 5 seconds flat.
I don't think you know them well enough to read through them.
Oh no! I'm not saying I would. I'm saying you would.
I'm not great at reading people, but I'm good at bluffing past them.
Oh yeah, sure, fair enough.
Hence why I will forever be known as the Chicken Lord, the man, the Chicken Emperor. I collected all of the chickens, and that's how I won the game.
Wait, I thought you had a different name.
Yeah, I mean, I'm called AEC Anonymous Capybara as well, but...
Well, no, as well as that, what else are you?
He's the butcher.
Is he not a king?
King?
Where are you going with this?
What are you always saying when you're off the podcast?
Oh, I'm not doing that. No, that doesn't make sense in context.
Well, I know it doesn't make sense in context, but you always say you are. Anyway, now that's going to make literally no sense to anyone listening to this. But trust me, it makes sense. In a convoluted way, it makes sense.
Yep.
But no, I do remember when I joined the Poker Society here, I remember first night I joined, I ended up being on a table with the ex-president of the Poker Society.
That doesn't mean he's good, it just means he's been there a long time.
Yeah,
but it means they have some moderately more experience than a lot.
He won several tournaments at the university and several local tournaments as well and everything. And
maybe you're in a statistical anomaly where everyone's bad at poker. I don't know.
I'm actually in the one local area of Canada where everyone's actually collectively using.
But they're so polite, I can't imagine them lying.
I mean, do you know what's really weird?
No, you haven't told me.
That's true. Everyone here, well, not everyone, but there's been several instances here where people have actually faked accents. So they actually ask me if the accent's real.
Wait,
apparently,
really?
some people go around faking the accent or do it for a joke.
Pretending to be British.
I've had several people come up to me and go, "Is the accent?" Usually at house parties and they're half drunk, but they'll be like, "Is the accent real?" The first time I was asked by a guy in a full cop uniform inside a house party, and he was like, "Is the accent real?" I was like, "Yes." Why would the accent not be real?
More importantly, you go to house parties?
I was invited to a house party. I didn't rock up out of the blue.
Like, plural? Is this... I mean, you said house parties.
Have I been to... I guess you could say that, yeah.
I've been to one house party this year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When you say house party,
was this
do you
like
mean
a friends or...
It was a mansion party, technically.
Yeah.
Damn. Damn, that escalated quickly. Jesus, I know
you
always talk about your...
It was bonfire night that I went. It had a pretty decent fire for like...
I know you always talk about your elitism, Lewis, but I didn't know that went that deep.
Listen, you want to talk about my elitism, Matt? Is that what you're trying to get at here?
Well, you did talk about... Well, it was a different elitism, actually.
We did tease it last week, which is, I'm an elitist.
Do you want to explain yourself, Lewis, or do you just want to come off
would you like to explain how I'm an elitist? Because I think you will provide a better perspective on this than I will.
I mean, okay. Is this the achievements thing?
It's the Dark Souls thing. But the achievement thing also.
Oh my god. Yeah, okay. So... Okay, so
I love that intro, by the way. Just
the heavy sigh.
That really just tells you everything, I think. I mean, no further explanation is probably needed. That sigh is probably enough.
I just have to collect my thoughts and prepare myself, really.
Just take a breather, Josh. It's okay.
Okay, I'm going to take a very loud sip of water.
Truly
there we
terrible.
Go.
That
Okay.
might be a pet peeve of mine.
That was your weekly ASMR episode snippet.
You're welcome. Okay, so you okay. So in Dark Souls...
I mean, I think we already agreed on that. I stated that earlier in the podcast, so that's basically fact of it.
Yeah, we've established this. But you refuse to take to like accept any help in Dark Souls. Like,
Yeah.
Oh
which
god, is this what he means?
it's
oh
perfectly
god, he's
fair.
that kind of guy.
but like not accepting the help of like strangers, like answering to the signs. Well, no, like using other people's signs in battle to like bring them into your game and let them help you take down like a particularly difficult boss that you're having trouble with. Like that's fine. I on the other hand am fine with accepting the help because I don't really care about, like, at least first time around, being able to complete like the game in a very, very difficult kind of state. But you take it to a really stupid point, in my opinion,
Okay, so
when
I
you
would
just
like to,
refuse to use a flipping shield.
Wait, what?
The game's
Does he
designed
actually?
around using the shield.
Wait, he doesn't use a shield.
No,
In Dark
it's
Souls.
designed around
Just
carrying
please.
people. That's
Lewis,
like
are
the
you
main
clinically
strat of
insane?
the game.
No, I'm just not. Okay, so I'm going to
What
defend
is wrong
myself.
with you? No, you can't defend yourself. I'm sorry, you don't use a shield in Dark Souls.
My
What the hell
favourite
is wrong
weapon
with you?
in Dark Souls is the Soulsword Blades. And many people might know the Soulsword Blades are overpowered in every way.
The thing is,
I'll take
every
I'll take your
starting
word for it.
weapon is
I
overpowered.
have no idea on this. I'll take your word for it because I've never played the game. So.
Every starting weapon is overpowered though, because you just like you can just carry on upgrading it with like the most common material, and it gets to be as powerful as like pretty much all of the other like rarer items.
That's true. But the Soulsword Blades have a alternate mode, which is to dual wield them as opposed to single and a shield.
Hmm.
And the dual wield mode does pretty good damage at a pretty good rate, relatively quickly, and in such a speed that it almost always fits between the enemy's like pause animations. Like they're like wind ups. So you can attack and still dodge. You don't need a shield, just don't get hit.
Yeah, okay, but
I'm sorry,
especially with
hang on,
bosses.
whoa.
Especially with
I'm sorry,
bosses,
did this
they don't-
guy just say,
they
in
hit
reference
through
to
your
Dark
attacks.
Souls, just don't get hit?
Yeah, that was my advice. I said, don't get hit. And you know what, Josh? I've beaten every boss in Dark Souls in the base game.
Every
I haven't done the
boss.
DLC yet.
Wait,
I
is
think
it
we can
every-
definitely confirm
you
Lewis's
do-
elitism.
Did you do like the
Is it Nameless King?
Okay,
You
Oh,
were there when I
God.
beat the Nameless King.
I was. Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, you did get to that point. And okay, you are better at games than I am. So it's not
Generally, that's not always true.
generally.
Apart from
in
one
this case,
game
I'd
where
say
I
yeah.
have more achievements than him.
All right, we're going to talk about this some other time. You want to challenge me to something? I will lay down a gauntlet.
It's the one thing I can
no.
hold over Lewis. The
Yeah, but
one
Matt, you don't
thing.
realise.
No, but
We've-
oh.
No, you don't understand, Matt. I now have my PS4 back.
Oh god, that's gonna be gone
I
soon.
can
then.
beat this thing in 2 days.
Oh, we can. It didn't
2
take me that
days.
long.
Tell you what, next week I'll have a platinum in Spider-Man.
So if people didn't know, so the new PS4 Spider-Man games, the one thing I have 100% of it, haven't I?
Yeah, you platinumed it.
Yeah, I thought
I don't know. It's not 100% because I don't think you did the DLC.
Well, actually, no, sorry, no, I haven't 100%. Yeah, DLC. But yeah,
But the base game is all I care
platinumed
about.
it, yeah, I've platinumed it, and Lewis, it's the one platinum that I have over Lewis. So I cherish it.
I just
I
didn't enjoy
cherish
the
it
game enough
dearly.
to continue through with it.
I love it. But then Spider-Man's always been one of my favourite kind of characters, and I really like the
I
Spider-Man.
like
games.
Spider-Man. I just kind of felt that after a while it got very samey.
Yeah.
I
can see it.
just found the game mechanics satisfying. I guess I just really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I prefer having a goal, and Spider-Man didn't give me a goal that wasn't just play through the game,
It was like another kind of
which is
Like
an open world sandbox.
the
So I've done
main
like hundreds of
things-
those.
the main things to do were the same things that like so many other games give you, like just the random collectibles around the map and doing the same activity
I quite
which
like
is
the
slightly
collectibles, though.
randomized.
So I
mean-
enjoy random collectibles, right? I just like it's a cathartic experience to go around and just see a number tick up.
Well, I liked the way they did it as well with the backpacks, with all the items being quite personal to Peter.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer it when those
I
kind
like
of
that.
things have some some relation to the story. Like, I think Shadow
Yeah,
of Mordor
they-
and Shadow
they
of
at
War
least-
had like history
yeah.
of Gondor on them, and
They at
that
least
stuff was
put in
nice.
some effort. They could have just did it as a just random token thing that you just collect around the city and have no meaning to Peter whatsoever. But the fact that they at least put some effort into making the tokens.
Well, those science tokens are a thing.
Okay, yeah, but at least these tokens.
That was
I mean,
also a
yeah,
problem I had. The game was far too easy. I got
Far too
very
what?
bored of it very fast.
okay.
Because I was just able to be like, okay, punch, 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 super, and then I webbed everyone in the area, and then I'm like, alright, well, I have an AoE clear. None of the other abilities are worth using now. Like, oh, I have shock punches. Who cares?
Which
It's not an AoE clear.
which ultimate do you use off?
I use the web one where you like jump up and then you spray every enemy around you with web and it sticks them to the ground.
I often use the Iron Suit Spider one.
I don't, because I don't like the Iron Spider suit.
Oh no, I do. You realise you can have the ultimate.
Oh yeah,
ability,
you
but not the
can.
suit.
I still don't like it. I just refuse to wear it.
So
I need
I
it
like
for
the
photos.
ultimate. I don't wear the suit. I often wear either the original or I wear the Homecoming suit. But I keep the ability from the Iron Spider suit.
You know, one of these days we'll actually talk about those Spider-Man suits on the podcast.
Oh God, don't no. This is guys.
before
You
we
don't
do, we need
understand.
to, like, have-
You
I'm
don't
not doing it
understand.
today. It's too.
No.
Yeah, we're gonna have to-
We'll do
we're gonna
the
have to look
proper
up.
list.
So basically,
We'll do a tier list.
all three of us have some quite differing opinions when it comes to the suits in the latest Spider-Man game. And the last time we had this discussion, it got
Took hours.
It took a long time because it got quite heated because Lewis started ranting specifically at, I think, was it Josh or was it me?
No, Josh
But
had
one
some
of-
really controversial opinions, and I
Yeah.
don't stand for them.
They're not controversial. You're
Josh
just
was
wrong.
ranting
It's-
at Lewis was ranting at Josh that he
Yeah.
was wrong, basically.
So just to tease my opinion and Josh's bad opinion, Josh said he didn't like the Spider-Man 2099 white version,
Oh,
and
my
frankly,
God.
someone's wrong here. Now we're going to move on back to my elitism.
I mean, maybe in the
was-
comics it looks good, but
No, we're not talking about it. We'll see that
Moving
another
on.
day.
Moving swiftly on.
Moving swiftly on.
yes.
And by on, I mean backwards, because you had another comment about my elitism, which is about the achievements.
Yeah.
Oh God, what
Like-
has he done?
So Steam achievements and like the trophies on PlayStation, I don't know what Xbox has, or even if Switch has.
Oh wait,
them.
we talk.
But-
wait, oh yeah.
But Lewis, you seem to have
Literally,
This
this guy is the only guy I know
obsession
that will
with
obsess himself with a
collecting-
game just to make sure that he 100% platinums it.
yeah.
I don't think
For
you've
no,
met many gamers.
for no other
Matt.
reason than he can hold it over everyone that he knows,
It's
including
not
Josh and
holding
I.
it over people. I'm just proud of the difficult bits.
Okay. Well, but it's not even just difficult sometimes. It's just sinking enough time into it.
Listen, I won't debate that.
It's-
A lot
the
of
thing is-
trophies are just
no,
sort
no.
of like,
The
hey,
thing
play
is,
the
though,
game for a long time.
If they're
Yeah.
good games, I would understand it. But he will play some god awful game just so he 100%s it
This is
for
true.
no other reason than he can see that 100% mark on his Steam
This is
account.
true.
Because
That
you know
is
no one else is
legitimately
going
the
to.
only reason.
Because you know no one else is going to. You
There's
can
like
have
whole
the
Reddits about this stuff. I just don't have any
No
friends
one
that
else
want
will
to do
buy the game in the first place. And then I tell you what Lewis does. Lewis will look for the most obscure humble bundles, get them,
That isn't
get
true.
a whole load. Well, that's how you
Sounds like a
usually get
blatant
it.
lie. I bought 2 humble bundles ever, and one of them was the Jingle Jam.
You
So
should
what?
buy
So you
more.
purposely buy these bad
They're good.
games then?
No, I just got given them because like they was young, and they were like, "Oh, we thought you would like a Toy Story 3 game," so I played Toy Story 3 and I 100%ed it, so I owned it. And we bought you this
Wait,
Megamind
what-
game, and Megamind has like an average
Wait,
completion
hang
time
on,
of 3
wait,
hours,
wait.
and I did it, and I'm like, okay,
When
took 3 hours.
when you say we bought you, who's we?
Just parents and family members who are like, we thought you'd like something, like for your birthday.
Wait, hang on. When you say
and we
they
bought you this
bought
game.
you it, what on Steam?
No,
No, like
on my
Place-
PlayStation.
I think.
Oh,
Do you know how many games
right.
I actually have 100%ed on Steam, Matt?
How many?
It's like 3.
Really?
No, it's probably like 5 actually.
I felt like there were some really bad games on Steam as well. But okay, if it's PS4,
I've
then I
never
can understand.
perfected a game I didn't like on Steam.
Okay, yeah, but at least on PlayStation, especially, yeah, it's like
It's because I
there's
had some bad games and I perfected them.
Toy Story and Megamind. You purposefully
Toy Story was an enjoyable experience, and
Was it really?
Megamind was a 3-hour game.
How long would it have had to have been before you gave up on it?
Like 15, 16 hours if it wasn't enjoyable.
What?
That was longer than I would wait.
You would have spent.
The thing is, a lot.
Hang on, whoa. You would have spent 16 hours of your precious existence playing Megamind.
Yeah, I just watched Smallville at the same time, right? Like, I just watch TV and play these games. Because, like, bad games tend to not require much of your effort.
Yeah, but
Lewis,
you could have
your
been
mind
playing games
astounds
you
me.
enjoyed.
Your mind
instead of-
astounds
That
me.
would have taken more focus, and I wanted to watch Smallville and do something with my hands.
I mean, not necessarily. Like
Well, I didn't.
I
I wasn't watching
can't
Smallville at the
imagine
time. I
doing
was
that.
probably watching like Community or like.
Minecraft is like
Watching
a pretty
Smallville.
enjoyable game, and you can completely zone out and focus on something else.
Watching
playing
You're on Christmas
Smallville
break now,
playing
Josh?
Megamind. Jeez.
I am on Christmas break.
We're gonna make a Christmas village in Minecraft 1.5, 1.15. That's what we're gonna do
Wait, when is it out?
now.
What? Wait, is this the B one?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I mean, we could
Matt,
do
you can
that.
join us. You can make a Christmas village together. Little
Or have
reconnected
you already
village.
sussed it?
Wait, sorry, hang on, wait. What game is this?
Wait, what?
Minecraft.
Oh my god, I'd have to reinstall Minecraft.
Oh no! How the
You should.
travesty.
Oh,
Wait, hang on. I might
I was
actually have to
listening to
buy
the
it again
soundtrack
because
today.
actually, hang on, wait. Oh no, wait, hang on. No, I have it on Microsoft, don't I?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Because I had it on Xbox.
But that's the bad version of Minecraft.
Wait, hang on. Is he playing with the like?
He's talking about the Windows 10
No,
version,
no.
I think.
Oh,
Yeah. I've been playing it on
Bad.
PC.
Yeah, it's a bad. That's
bad.
a bad.
You want to play the
version of
Java
Minecraft.
version?
Yeah, you have a Java version.
When that came,
No, his brother does, and he's using that.
Yeah, no, my
Oh.
brother did. So I'd have to buy it again.
It's only like £15. You can afford that.
No, it's like 25.
And then we can get
I
all the
think.
achievements in that as well.
Oh god.
Okay, but at least the achievements in that game are pretty much all tied to doing things in the game that you would usually do.
Shoot a
Do you know
skeleton
my
from
fir-
100 meters away.
Sorry?
do you know?
Shoot a skeleton from 100 meters away.
Oh, okay, fine. That's not one.
Do you know what my favorite? Not favorite. My first memory of Minecraft was. I remember I was in secondary school with Josh, and I don't know what year this was, but it must have been early.
9.
And I the
was
first
year 9.
Is that
I'm
when
also in the
Minecraft
story.
came out? What? I don't think you are. I just remember Josh turning around to me and explaining that he just played this game called Minecraft, and that he'd spent 2 hours on the mobile version doing nothing but digging.
Oh, this was like year 7. Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell kind of a game is there that Josh is enjoying on mobile, doing nothing but digging for 2 hours?
Oh no, I probably year 8 or something. I know it's just enjoyable. And
I
also,
think it was about
You
year- it must
played
have been about year
Minecraft,
8.
You were in year 9 because you were doing Yogscast Complete
No.
back.
yeah. This was me just talking to Matt about Minecraft.
This must have
That
been
was
very
the-
early alpha.
Yeah, it
No.
must have been pretty early.
This
it was
was
mobile version.
this was mobile version.
But the mobile version wasn't out in 2007. Not 2007. Year 7 was it? Because it was still in like really early Java. I think Tekkit had just come out about then.
I don't think it was year
Really?
7. I think it was year 8, probably, about then.
In
that
year-
he
could-
said this to me.
I started playing Minecraft in year 7, and the first version I played was 1.2.5.
And that would have been the Tekkit version.
Yes.
Mobile wasn't out then, I don't think.
No. It was probably year 8 or something.
Because I sunk a lot of time into Tekkit.
Yeah. I
No,
remember.
I think in
showing
first
me
year
those
of uni, I
worlds.
ended up like building a whole Tekkit thing as well. You know, going back
Yeah.
a bit nostalgia trip. Holds up, but it's not
It was
perfect.
fun. I still have my first Tekkit world.
Mine
Oh.
died on Alicia a while back.
I haven't played Minecraft in years.
Well,
Like,
Matt, you can join
years,
us to build a
years.
little Christmas village.
Yeah.
Oh god. So how
a
many
lot of
things am I being
snowballs.
dragged into now? So, well, if episode 3 actually happens,
Which, to be fair, episode 3 is still awaiting confirmation from Apple, so unlikely that that's going to happen anytime soon.
but guys, we've submitted. We're actually doing this now.
There's no
That's if it
backing
gets
down.
approved.
We're committed.
That's if it gets approved.
Oh, they'll
They'll-
approve us. What reason do they have to not approve us?
We're under the non-expletive like thing, but occasionally we have to bleep ourselves.
Oh, that'll be fine. They don't care
Yeah.
yet until we become big, and then they sue us.
They sue her. I mean, they're just
I'm not sure
bandless.
you understand how that works.
I probably don't because I haven't done law.
It's easy. Just like ask any lawyer. It's like a really easy, short time.
The most
I don't know any
stuff
lawyers.
about law that I ever learned is watching Legal Eagle videos, which are very interesting, by the way.
I like Legal Eagle videos, but I hate how he opens them. Like, I hate when he goes like, "Hey guys, Legal Eagle here" or something like that. I hate people who like go by that stuff.
But that's like most people on YouTube.
I know,
Lewis.
but
You're
I'd
the
rather
abnormal
he
one.
just. What's his name? What's his real name?
Don't know actually. I just know him as Legal Eagle. I don't even know his name.
Because he says, "Hey, Legal Eagles" at the start of his videos, and we're the Legal Eagles.
Well, I think he says, "Hey, Legal Eagles."
Yeah, so we're the Legal Eagles
Yeah,
in this. So he has a name.
So you
yeah. I
hate,
don't
like,
know what his name is. Actually.
Wait, do you
I
hate,
hate-
like fan bases having a name?
It depends what their fan name is, right? So, like, the Hello Internet guys have their fan base named themselves. They called themselves Tims, based on like an inside joke that happened on like episode 6, and it just scaled off from there. But then
So
when
like forced ones.
PewDiePie
Are...
says, "Oh, you're the bro army," or like you're 9-year-olds, and it's like, dude, stop, please.
I'm fine with that.
Basically, I think to
The
simplify this,
9-year-olds
Lewis
one
doesn't mind.
specifically.
I think basically what Lewis is saying is that, in short, he doesn't mind a community naming themselves a title. He doesn't like it when creators name their own community a title.
It depends what the name is as well.
Sure, okay.
Like, Legal Eagles is kinda... Like, I get it.
I don't know where the
but
name
it's
came from.
very childish.
It feels
In like a
kind of
way
forced.
that I wouldn't expect from a law channel.
I get that.
Maybe
I
because it
think it
makes it
doesn't
more
fit the
personable.
branding. I think if it was like... if it was a gaming YouTuber, they would fit more. But
Yeah.
I just don't think it fits particularly well with...
I do quite
This channel.
like watching those kind of channels though, where it's like experts kind of talking about their profession and how it's displayed in media and everything. Like I also watch. Do you know Dr. Mike?
Yeah, in a Dr. Mike.
Yeah, I like watching his videos. too.
Dr.
They're
Mike's
quite
not too bad,
informative.
though, because he's just like a dude. He's like some cool Russian
he's
dude.
just a guy. Well, he's Russian heritage, yeah.
Well, he was born in Russia, wasn't he?
No, he was born in New York. He's second generation. Sorry, no, he's first generation American. I think his dad's from his dad's from like Poland or Russia because his dad went through medical school and got like his medical practitioning degree, whatever, in like Poland or Russia or whatever, and then had to go through medical school again when he got to America. And then that's when he had Mike, and then
All
Mike
I'm gonna say is,
witnessed him going through medical school again, and that's what then influenced him to then go into medicine himself.
all I'm gonna say is his Wikipedia page says he was born in Russia, and so I
I'm
can't.
fairly certain in his videos he says he was born in... I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain he says that he was born in America. Anyway, that doesn't really matter.
Just he was born in the USSR in Russia. That's all I can tell you because I don't know the guy.
Well, yeah, none of us do.
I don't
Anyway.
think we'd get along. Yeah, he moved over when he was 5. I don't think we'd get along.
Oh,
me
okay, he
and
moved
Dr.
over when he
Mike.
was 5. Oh, okay, okay, so he may be born in Russia and moved over when he was 5.
He's too nice.
Okay. Yeah, no,
His
you
overly
would... Yeah, no.
upbeat,
Josh and I... Josh and I would get
infuriates me.
along with... Josh and I would get along with him fine. We'd be absolutely,
I have no idea who this guy is.
Basically, he's literally just a doctor that has a YouTube channel that basically talks about medical stuff and reviews like medical shows and all that kind of stuff.
I
And talks
see.
about them, and
Okay.
and does like he does like a medical meme review, which is quite entertaining.
A
and,
medical meme review.
He reviews medical memes,
Like surgery on a
like
grape?
why is it?
They did surgery in a grape.
I know, it's incredible.
But anyway, so
It's awe-inspiring.
But yeah, so no, yeah, but Josh and I would get along with him absolutely fine, as you say, because he's very positive and optimistic in his attitude, and he's got a lot of PMA in him. As Jacksepticeye.
It may be intimidating, honestly.
Lewis would he'd contradict the kind of energy of Dr. Mike in that lot, or Jacksepticeye.
Maybe we'd make like the best buddy cops though. Maybe my sort of
yeah, well, that's kind of our dynamic.
low-level cynicism is what we need because as a closeted optimistic that I am,
That's how he apparently defines
That's how I'm
himself,
going to define myself. I'm closetly optimistic.
Closeted optimist.
I turned around to him earlier. When he was saying something pessimistic, and I went, "Sorry, aren't you the closeted optimistic guy by self-definition?" And then his literal response was, "Yes, but if I come out as optimistic, I'm no longer closeted optimistic."
Yeah, I can't actually
hell?
be optimistic because that would defeat the whole point of being closeted about it.
No, but by
Everyone,
saying that
welcome
you
to
are
Lewis.
a closeted optimist, you're
Yeah,
a
but no one
closeted
believes me.
optimist. Well,
It's like we were talking about last week. I can say that I'm a closeted optimist, but no one has to believe that until I prove that.
So does
But the
that
whole
mean
point
if
of
you
being
ever
closeted
say...
is I don't want it proved.
Wait, so does that mean if you ever say anything optimistic, I can officially turn around to you and say, "Well done on coming out"?
I mean, I guess. But I would like to point out that, like...
The next time we're together and you say something optimistic, 100% I can turn around and say, "Well done for coming out the closet, Lewis. Well done."
What I'm going to say is
We'll
even the
accept
most
you
withered
for
rose
whoever
at
you
one
are.
point was red.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't hear what you
even
said.
the
What
most
was
withered
that?
rose at some point was red. Right?
Wow,
So that's it.
how poetic of you.
I'm a poet at heart.
You really are.
Yeah. I think romantic things, Matt. Very romantic things.
you are actually probably the most romantic person I've ever met. It's like it is very much a character trait of yours.
I don't know what
Yeah,
that says
right.
about the people you know, though.
Yeah, my wife is constantly saying, "Oh, you're so romantic." Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's definitely the response.
Sorry, I
to
just
that.
had a mental thought about what the hell would your wife be like?
I like to think, a female.
What?
Okay, starting off.
Guys, you don't understand. This
small.
is literally what it's like speaking with Lewis on a daily basis.
I-
Every single time, it's like this.
Here are the two
You
things
don't understand my
that
frustration.
I require in a wife. They have to be female and married to me. That's it.
That is a
That's
really
my
low bar.
bar.
That's a really low bar.
That's. Yeah, I mean, you're not really shooting for high expectations, are you?
I'm just saying that's what they would have to be.
Lewis on the first date. Are you a woman? Yes. Fantastic. We'll get to the married bit later. As for now, I will call you my soon-to-be wife.
Well, you probably just drive him away, I think.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a bit strong there, Matt.
I don't know. It's you.
But to be fair, I have unmatched charisma, which is why when I play D&D, I play exclusively charisma classes and don't play intellect classes or wisdom classes.
And that's what will actually push them away.
I don't know. I feel
The
like
D&D.
I feel like passion about.
No,
my-
not the D&D,
my
the
thing.
I'm very charismatic part.
Well, no, because that was sarcasm.
Sure, Lewis.
Listen, all my charisma is in my eyes. You can't see me. You can't feel the charisma.
Really? I thought it was in your hair.
Oh,
Lewis, don't shave. It will only damage you.
yeah, but I like shaving my head, Josh.
But then, Lewis, you become so uncharismatic.
But I look bigger if I shave my head.
Really?
What?
Yeah, it's a relative thing. Because my head looks smaller
Maybe-
than the rest of my body. It makes my body look bigger.
Maybe it's just from your perspective that's the case.
No, that's just
Oh.
like a science thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Men without hair tend to look bigger than men with hair because when you look at my head and we look at your head looks bigger than mine, even if they're the same size.
Oh, I see.
Because you've got a mop on top of it. So, two
Mop.
identical people, one with hair, one without hair. The one without hair will look physically bigger, even if
To
they're smaller.
be fair, let's face it. If anyone's had a mop out of the three of us, it's
Ugh.
definitely been Josh when he was young.
That's true.
Like, you really started to grow out that hair. You were practically a mullet.
He's a Sasquatch.
I'm a Sasquatch.
Sasquatch.
Oh, I've got
But,
the
like,
facial
literally,
hair
like-
too now. Or at
Josh,
least-
you don't have
I mean,
skin
yeah,
on your face.
but, like, But like, it was hilarious
What?
when he was younger, though, going through secondary school, because he would literally have like a whole mullet full of hair, and the facial hair hadn't come through. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
I think Josh sneaks into my house at night and steals it from me.
Oh my god, you got me.
Because our hair color is the same.
Yeah,
You
yeah, it is
finally
actually, yeah.
figured it out all this time.
That's
Yep.
the conspiracy. That's the conspiracy out of.
But if he just
the three
asked, I
of
would
us.
have given it to him.
that's
That's the real kicker there.
what's weirder, me stealing your hair or you being okay with the fact that I'm stealing your hair?
Oh, the okay bit.
No,
100%.
I think you've seen my hair.
Okay.
People give away their hair, right?
Well, yeah, but
Yeah, but being okay with
it's
someone
more like
stealing
a one-time donation kind of thing.
yeah, donating your hair to a charity or whatever for extensions or the like, that I can get. Being okay with someone actively stealing your hair, that's a different thing altogether.
We're okay with someone stealing children's teeth, though, so I feel like the hair fairy is not
Oh
the
my
weirdest thing in the
God.
world.
The hair
Well, I
fairy.
know. Oh god, the hair fairy. That's so. Oh,
Oh, what would that look like?
A
Tinkerbell with
Sasquatch.
it would.
Actually, it can't fly, it just climbs through a window.
Tinkerbell meets Sasquatch.
Ew. This is
Lovely.
not something I want to think about. I'm going to have nightmares.
Yeah, well, you're thinking about it now, aren't you?
I am, and it's disgusting.
imagine
I don't
so.
want to imagine like a flippin' Sasquatch climbing through my window at night and stealing my hair, just plucking it out one by one, putting it in its little satchel.
It's satchel.
That's what. Where do you think it's going to put it? It needs a satchel.
I don't know. Maybe it just super glues it onto itself right there and then.
Well, that's inconvenient. It needs to get away before I see it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's really quiet.
Man, it has a station at home for all of the gluing.
Oh my god, it has a station.
Yeah. Well, look, this is what it does. Obviously, it has like a dedicated work environment for gluing other people's hair
I mean,
onto its
sure.
own
What
body.
am I saying? Of course, that makes pure logical sense. It would have a whole workshop
Well-
for hair implantation.
This makes sense. You seem to have a problem with
No, you're right. I'm being completely illogical here.
it. Yes.
That is kind of the gold standard for you, though, Matt.
I mean, yeah,
Being
to be fair,
illogical.
I'm being pretty inconsistent. Pretty consistent right now.
I would like to
Inconsistent.
It's a wonder how I ever made it through
Consistently
philosophy class in the first place.
Yeah, I know. It's why I passed and you didn't was because I'm so flexible in my views. But I just...
Well, you didn't pass any philosophy class because you didn't go to any.
Do you know that, though?
Is that going to be your philosophical argument? You don't know that I didn't go to
You haven't
philosophy class.
proven that. So I think it's conjecture.
Yeah, okay, but
It
can
sounds-
you
it
prove
sounds almost-
that you
it-
did?
It sounds like almost like one of those like
Potentially,
flat
yes.
Earth. It
Well,
sounds
I mean,
like almost like one of those
feel
flat
free.
Earth arguments where it's like, listen, you can't prove that I'm not wrong.
That seems pretty shady right there.
Well, it's like a stereotypical, like classic illogical argument. Like, you can't prove that I'm not right.
Okay.
I mean,
So, Matt, there's something you can't prove that I'm not
Yeah.
right about.
I'm not saying I agree with the argument. I'm just saying it sounds like you were saying an argument very similar to that.
You're saying if you haven't experienced it properly, you can't
Well, no, I'm saying
judge. That's what I'm hearing here.
no. I was saying that it sounded like you were trying to almost make an argument where you were saying you can't prove that I didn't experience this, so therefore I did. Or at least I can say I did, and you can't say otherwise.
Okay, Matt.
Which is also an argument that is then used by people like, well, I guess flat earthers and other people that try to argue against like science and stuff, where they're like, you can't say that I'm not wrong. And then science turns around and says, well, we can't for definite say you aren't wrong, but you are wrong.
I mean, the arguments they use is just the fact that they use different laws of physics. They have their own laws of physics, and that's why everything works.
They need them.
Yeah, I mean, you can't trust a climatologist to tell you the world's in danger. They have an agenda.
What?
Something I read on Reddit earlier.
Oh,
It sounds like something one of them would say, though, to be fair.
Yeah, it was something that was actually said.
Wait, was it? By who?
God, I don't know.
By some one of those
Reddit
wackos,
user,
yeah.
but they weren't a troll. They were like genuinely believing it because they checked their history.
Oh, no. I have to say, though, I think my favourite comment by any of them still has to be the classic, tweet from the Flat Earth Society of the classic "we have fans around," well, we have supporters around the world or something like that.
Around
Yeah,
the
we
globe.
have supporters around the globe.
Yeah, and then the top comment underneath it was just say that again, but slower.
It's like the international nationalists group, where collectively
What?
they're going to defeat globalism.
Oh my god!
Is that that's a
That's a
trolling
real
thing?
one, yes. No, that's a real one.
I just love the title. Hi everyone, and welcome to this year's International Nationalism meeting,
It just
where we will promise no cooperation whatsoever.
It's dumb.
anyone who turns up to the meeting gets banned from attending the group.
No, everyone can attend. Everyone can attend, but they just can't sit anywhere near each other or talk with each other or communicate in any way.
Yeah. Shocking.
They all have to go. They all have to go to their own table and do nothing.
Well, they would
Yeah.
fight amongst themselves and
Right.
demonize everyone on the outside.
What are they?
Well,
Whether
that's
it's fighting
politics,
against
politics.
yeah.
Okay, thanks to
Ooh.
the weekly "Get Too Close to the Line" segment.
Well, we could have. Well, yeah, I'm surprised
I
that
think
that's the
we've-
way we actually managed to get close to the political line, given what's happened this week.
Well,
I think we
we're not gonna
stepped
talk about
over a
it.
little.
No,
But we're not going to talk
gonna
about it.
You know what we should talk
It's
about?
fine.
How you
It's
should be
fine.
watching episode 3 right now, because it is the 1 hour mark, and I said I would do this again.
Oh, he managed it.
I mean,
Josh,
you
he
should.
managed it.
You. I mean,
Actually, you
You
know
should
what?
watch
You know
it.
what?
It's a
Because
good
I want
episode.
because of the fact that it would also mean that Lewis would have to endure Bing Bong. I will also endure. I will also. What's the word?
suffer.
Support. Well, support. I will also support episode 3. Endorse.
Oh,
I will
yeah.
also endorse episode
Yeah.
3. So yeah, go check out episode 3 simply so that I can, as well as wallowing in the sort of pit of my own misery with Smallville, I can also at least relish in the misery that will be sent out of Lewis when he has to watch Bing Bong.
I actually do
Yeah.
get the raw end of this deal, but not for the reason that you think.
Really?
Yeah, because I can put up with Bing Bong Theorem, because it's bad.
By the way, I'm also working still on my own phrase for Smallville.
You'll
'cause I'm
never
not
figure it
very
out.
good at that. Well, there's one that comes to mind, but I can't say it without getting banned from Apple.
You wanna give me the name?
But do I want to give you the
Yeah,
name?
go on, tell me the name. You can't tease it and then not say it.
Well, I thought. Well, the name that came right off. You're welcome for this, Josh. But the name that came right off the bat for me was just Shitville.
Wow, that was real.
That is.
Original.
Well, that's the easy one that comes to mind.
I wanna
but,
jump
I mean,
to-
that's yeah. I didn't go for it though because I mean it's too simplistic. It doesn't really provide any kind of real creativity on my part,
Matt,
like Bing Bong Theorem.
well, honestly, that's pretty genius. Like, I don't think I could have thought of that.
Well,
honestly.
I'm also,
from Josh.
yeah, I'm also not going to say it just because of the fact that it would also mean that Josh would have to censor me every single time we talk about the show in every episode moving forward once episode 3 happens.
Yeah, that would be a little annoying.
Yeah, no wonder.
I want to mention, by the way, that Smallville is now canon in the Arrowverse.
No way, is it?
So is Lucifer.
Oh, what? Wait,
Wait,
Lucifer?
what? No,
Yeah,
is it actually?
yeah.
I want to kill myself.
So in the most recent spoilers for the most recent crossover, by the way.
Oh no, this is gonna hurt me.
In the most recent crossover, they did episodes 1, 2, and 3. I haven't watched them because it's surprisingly hard to watch them when there's literally nowhere to do so. You can't even pirate it. You can't pirate it, and you can't legally watch it because Batwoman's not airing on Sky. And
Okay, when you
Everyone's
say you
watching.
can't pirate it, I'm sure there's some way.
oh, it's
There's
hard.
some
I can't be bothered.
backwards. There's some backwards, dark internet version of the site that I imagine could be.
I'll just
accessed.
wait for it to end up on Pornhub. Like that would be easier. Right?
I mean,
That's
probably.
what all of
Does
JoJo
it-
is anyway.
Wait, did it
Wait,
actually?
Is it?
Yeah, it just
Wait,
they
I
all
was-
end up on there because their like anti-piracy stuff isn't designed for that.
Oh
Wait,
my
so
god,
wait, is that a legitimate
genius.
thing? Like,
Yeah, you
people
can
pirate
find
shows.
a lot of shows on there.
Oh my god.
That That is genius.
That is.
Technically, there's anime on there, but I wouldn't exactly call it like safe for work.
Okay, that's not anime. That's hentai.
Which is a genre in anime.
Yeah, but it's like
it's just not
very
necessarily one that is
specific.
viewed by children.
It's actually not that specific.
Isn't it? Okay, well,
Nah.
no. There's a specific reason for it existing that isn't.
Even there is a specific reason for it existing. Anyway, I'm gonna avoid this topic for now, and just loop it back around to the
Probably not
Arrowverse.
the best.
So I sent you some pictures of how terrible Batwoman looked in her suit in the in Elseworlds.
Oh,
Which was the last
Wait, you
October
have?
event.
no.
Where have you sent them?
I sent them ages ago. You have seen them.
I
But
remember.
I will put them in the show notes.
I was going to say, I honestly cannot remember. Like, I'm scrolling through some.
They screwed
She
this
looks,
up.
she looks pretty good now, though.
Does
in
she?
her new costume? It's not great, but it's
The
not
last,
terrible.
the last, the last image.
thank God.
Well, the image I'm currently on, scrolling back through the chat, is actually just a superimposed Trump on a big boxer's body with a nappy on.
Yeah, that's because you've forgotten what happened like 2 weeks ago.
That's not photoshopped. It's real.
No, that was actually him.
I'm not going to
when he
link
was on
that
the
one, by the way. If you're looking for
that
that,
was-
you're going to have to find it on your own.
Yeah, you're welcome. That was actually that was actually Photoshop. That was actually Trump the other week when he was on the undercard
Hey, guys.
of AJ
Hey,
versus
guys. The line?
Ruiz.
This isn't political. You're
I'm
mentioning
joking about him
president.
being on. I'm just
went
joking about him
further
being
over
on a
the line
boxing
earlier.
undercard. Okay, chill out.
I feel like you underestimate how political that statement is.
What statement?
Any of
Oh, what
them.
him in a diaper?
Just
Yeah, okay,
him at
fair
all.
enough.
Trump.
Just let's
Trump.
His name
Trump.
alone.
I'm going to
It's
put
just
my,
not
my
that-
immediate veto power on anything like this.
You're
Wait.
giving-
How
you're
hold
giving
your
him-
horse, sunshine. You have veto powers.
we all have
since
veto
when?
powers.
You're giving
We
Trump
do?
so much power, though,
I can
by
ignore
saying
them,
his
but, like, we
name.
have
He's
them.
not flipping Voldemort.
Yeah, he's not Voldemort, but he thrives off of attention.
He's not. He doesn't care about the attention that we're giving him.
Yeah,
This
there is no attention from here, but I don't
No.
care, right? It's like the most boring conversation in the world. Like, Orange Man are bad. Like, yeah, I agree, but like, I don't want to talk about it every 5 seconds.
Wait,
Right?
hang on.
We
Did
were
Lewis just cross the
mentioning
line?
him quickly.
We didn't cross the line. But Lewis did.
Yeah, I'm trying to get us away from
Oh
here.
no! By
I'm
crossing
He
the
did it.
line.
I'm
He
gonna
did
say
the
one
unthinkable,
rule.
Josh.
Oh no! This is not where we want to be going.
You want to go back to Elseworlds? Do you want to go back to the Arrowverse? I thought so.
I'm sorry. I just love how like Lewis just crossed the political line and then immediately went, "All right, motherfuckers, I'm gonna say the N
Well,
word.
to be
I'll
fair,
do it.
I
I'll
didn't
do
say
it."
that, actually. I didn't swear.
Well, I just did. So you're welcome, Josh. That's another one for the
Oh,
record.
Did you?
Yeah. That's two
Just hear him
today.
typing away.
is
You can hear him just sighing.
This is the most we've had in an episode. I mean, to be fair, it's not that bad.
I think
it's just like
correct me if I'm wrong,
it's just.
but I think I just broke my my seal on swearing on the podcast.
Your seal?
Oh no, wait, sorry, no, I've been censored. I've been censored once before.
You've been censored once, but it was a mild one.
And I was quoting.
Not the second time.
Okay, fine, not the second time, but at least the first time I was quoting Clark.
Exactly. So,
I can't even actually remember what it was. Was it the B word?
yeah,
From the-
yeah.
Party, yeah. That was so stupid.
Yeah, it
I
was
hate
great.
how we
and
have
that's
to fucking
canon.
refer to
In-
it as the B word.
In the Flash multiverse,
Well, it's just easy to say. Well,
I know.
The female dog word. Does that make
Yes.
it more... That scene was so stupid. Like, can you
Yeah.
imagine being on set when that was filmed and being like, "Yeah, I think this show's going to do well."
It's
hey,
gold.
Josh, have you noticed something? Matt's really into Smallville right now. Like, when you think about it,
Oh.
I'm not trying to talk about Smallville. I'm trying to talk about like the Arrowverse and how the like Crisis on Infinite Earth is happening, and it's an exciting time for comic book fans. And Matt's like, let's talk about Smallville.
It's because you've shown us the truly terrible parts of it that are so enjoyable to just shit on. I've done it to myself now. But
you can't hate on us for that one, Josh.
no, I can't.
That was of your own making.
That's purely me. But like we all know that's just a section of the show. There's so much more of it, which is just I imagine it just being kind of bland and uninteresting.
Oh, it's going to be boring as hell. I'm telling you now, there are going to be whole points of this show that are going to be just boring as hell.
Yeah, season 8 is a season that exists.
And shouldn't.
Yeah, frankly, it shouldn't.
No, I'll tell you how many seasons of it shouldn't exist. Lewis, how many seasons of Smallville are there?
11.
So that's 11 seasons that shouldn't exist.
But one of them is a comic book.
I
What?
don't care.
Yeah.
What do you mean one
Season
of them
11 is a comic
book?
book.
I don't care
What?
if it's a comic book or any kind of
Smallville,
art.
it's called Season 11.
I don't care if it's a comic book or
Okay.
any other kind of book. It should be burnt and destroyed and rid of from humanity.
I feel like you're overstating things here a bit.
I can't believe
No,
Matt's a
I
fucking
am.
book burner.
He
Trying
is.
to remember this
He
stuff
wants to
science.
burn
I'm an
history.
anti-intellectual. I'm an anti-intellectual.
I would agree with that statement. like-
Would you?
Yeah, would you not?
That he's an anti-intellectual.
Yeah, when he studies history, you gotta be anti-intellectual to study that subject.
Oh my god.
Oof.
Apologies to historians who aren't Matt.
I was going to say, no. Don't you stop trying to apologise to historians. Tell them what you truly think.
To our subject.
Thank you. Thank you for at least expressing your true self.
I'm not a
Lewis.
liar.
You almost were for a second there, because you
Just
started
not
to try to
commenting.
apologise for historians.
I can be sorry and still have opinions.
That's probably true.
It's like,
I don't think I said I'm
someone's-
sorry for offending you. I think I just said I'd like to apologise to historians, and that could be because they picked a worthless subject that has absolutely no value, or it could be because I feel
Oh
bad
my
for saying
God.
these things.
Oh my god. The hole is getting deeper and deeper.
Yes, but I'm not saying which one of these two things I believe.
Oh, we all know which one you
I
believe.
was going to say, I think it's fairly clear.
I don't think it is. I'm a closet optimist. I don't think you know what I think.
Oh my god.
Really,
If-
I
if
could
we
be
never
lying
do it, it
all
won't
the
matter.
time, and therefore my no lying rule is pointless. Or I never lie, and I'm just using the cover of maybe I'm lying, maybe I'm not, to cover any horrific things that I say.
You can see how fun this is for me when I came down for college lunchtimes and was coming from either history lectures or philosophical lectures, and then had to deal with this one at lunchtimes.
I like to think of
Yeah.
myself as above the average person.
To be fair, it didn't get much better
Of
if I was
course you
coming.
I had
do.
to say it.
Of course.
To be fair, it didn't come much better if I was coming from a sociological lecture either.
But that's just like number. That's like people counting, you know.
Oh my god!
Okay.
Is there any other subject you want to just poo on?
Oh, while
Thanks,
we're here,
man.
let's.
You got really any main issues that you want to vent out against any other subject off the
I
top
think
of your head?
STEM pretty solid.
Yeah.
You know.
Drama, art,
I mean,
dance,
I enjoy what they provide, but they do not provide an essential.
geography.
Geography, oh, that's people counting with extra steps, but I think it's worth more than it's given
Oh
credit for.
my god! People counting with extra steps. Religious studies.
Oh, well,
Oh, choose your words wisely here.
well.
Yeah, well done. Good luck. I placed you out on the plank, and I'm just dangling you over the edge.
Let's think. How do I want to say this that will offend the most people, yet they understand that it's a joke?
I don't know, Lewis. How do you want to do that?
I'm not
You choose.
I'm not well versed in annoying religious because I'm not friends with many religious people.
That's true.
I'm probably
you
the most
haven't had
religious
much
person you've
time
ever
to
met.
practice. Bro, I think we actually had this discussion a while ago, didn't we? Out of the three of us, we said you would be the most likely to be theist.
I don't think that was the conclusion we came to.
Well, it was a bit difficult given that none of us are actually religious.
Well, that's a hard stance to take there. I'm agnostic. I'm a fence sitter.
But that's
Sure,
not.
actually, no. To be fair,
Is that a religion?
I am agnostic as well. I'm an atheist agnostic.
I hate you. I've been beaten by my own pedanticness.
I'm an atheist.
Josh, you are
agnostic.
correct. I am not religious.
It's just.
By the
It's
way,
just-
for anyone that's mildly confused by that statement, when I say atheist agnostic, I mean, well, theist refers to the Greek word knowledge, so I don't know.
I don't think that's a
And-
mandatory thing. I think we can really just put it down there as Matt doesn't have the knowledge of a god, therefore he doesn't believe.
Sure, that's the short
I don't
end of
think
it,
we
yeah.
need to go into the etymology of words, because
this
otherwise
is the
we would be
historian.
here all day.
Yeah. This is the historian coming out of me. Basically, yeah, I don't.
This
I
isn't
don't
the historian
know,
coming out.
So
of you.
therefore,
This is the moron coming out of you. It just happens
Also,
to be tied
sorry.
to a historian.
hang on, wait. I've just realised as well. Atheist doesn't mean I don't know. It means I don't believe. I just realised theism refers to belief, not knowledge. Gnosticism refers to knowledge. Sorry, yeah.
I'd say it's probably
I
quite.
just thought I'd say that. Well, no, I'm only saying that because otherwise I'm going to hear this back later and just realise the mess that I just made and haven't cleaned it up.
No, it's fine. Being
there you go.
correct is one thing, but being overly correct is another.
I mean,
It's
sure,
true.
yeah. So, yeah, that's the short end. I don't know, so therefore I don't believe.
I'd say it's quite ballsy to like say there is definitely no god. Like,
Oh, yeah,
end
you
of.
can't prove it.
Well,
Yeah.
You
Maybe
can't.
it's equally ballsy to say there's a god.
Well, yeah. Maybe.
It's equally ballsy either way because right now you can't prove his existence either way. That's the whole
Yeah.
point.
Hey guys,
Agnosticism.
no wait, hang on. We're crossing the line again.
Are we?
Yes, the
Oh.
other line was religion.
God,
Oh god.
It was politics
Oh, God.
and religion.
well,
Okay, yeah, fine.
We're crossing the
Um,
line again.
Okay,
wouldn't
well, let's
be-
move back from
it
the
would
line
not
and let's
be a
just try and see
reconnected-
how many more subject professors you can piss off. So
it would
we've
not
got
be a
sociology,
reconnected
which
episode
is-
without crossing both of those lines.
that's true.
This is
that's
literally the first episode we've crossed either of those lines.
We've, we,
no,
no, we
last
definitely
episode,
we
crossed
crossed the
political
political
I was going to
last
say.
episode.
I was going to say we crossed the political line last episode. Yeah. Anyway, so we've got. Let me see. So we've got sociology, which is just people counting. Geography, which is people counting with extra steps.
What about-
geology?
Geology's a science. It classifies as STEM. It's good.
Okay, fine.
I like that I've removed a huge amount of studies that I just
Okay, so-
blanket are good because they have science attached.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. So I don't know, political science.
Oh, that's how to manipulate a population.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you could say that. We've already done history. Oh crikey! What isn't under STEM now then?
Oh, I can do some
We've already
STEM
done-
mathematics.
we've done
That's just counting with extra steps.
Is it?
Biology, yeah, that's just life cycles with extra steps. That one might actually be true though.
Oh wait, hang on.
This is-
English.
Oh, English. That's just
Well, hang on. English language first.
English language, as in the writing your own
Well,
stuff.
Well, as in there's English language and there's English.
Yeah, what are you
literature,
classifying it as? I don't want to get caught in a good old trap here, Matt. Or I say,
Okay, fine.
I
So,
think
yeah,
it's,
so English-
it's dumb, and you go, but you write things, and I go, yeah, you're right.
English lit is studying other people's work. English language is creating your own.
Oh, okay. Why didn't you just study someone?
That's probably-
why didn't you
that's-
just study
that's
to
probably
write your
the
own
easiest
work?
one.
Surely, you just the way you get better at writing, like any trade, is to keep writing.
Yeah, but you can
Well,
like the
in
stuff.
English lit,
That would be
literature,
write
Josh.
about.
Sorry.
Well, in English lit, you basically write about other people's works. It's a bit like history in that way.
Oh, you mean reading too much into things?
Yeah, except in English lit, they do it even more than we do.
Oh, the door was blue. Congrats. You maybe think you picked a blue door because it makes.
Sometimes
Scene?
there's stuff to read into.
Alright, so I have made this blanket statement. So, as you may be about to figure out, that was all a bit of a jokey joke, and I'm going to retract most of what I just said because it's an oversimplification. And I'm about to contradict myself in a second, which is English literature has value, but no
I'm sensing
value.
a but.
It's useful for exclusively its topic, but its topic has no intrinsic benefits.
I mean,
So in the English lit
Yeah.
bubble, English lit, huge value. Outside of the English lit bubble, worthless.
So do you
But
mean
does
for like?
does the English subject in general not have some sort of intrinsic value in being able to improve the communication skills of our people
No, not so.
What?
by improving our
Doesn't it?
vocabulary?
When was the last time you learnt a word you used consistently from an English lit thing as opposed to just reading the book?
Prophetic fallacy?
But that's not... How often do you use that?
Not all the time. But
When
it's
was the
a
last
word
time you
that I
used it
would
that
not-
wasn't that sentence?
Probably a while ago.
Yeah, probably when you were in year 11.
No, I've used it since then.
Why?
Probably if I've been feeling down and it's miserable outside.
That is the dumbest thing you've ever said.
What?
I don't know. I've said
dumbest
some
thing?
pretty dumb stuff before.
It's pretty dumb.
Among them, probably including the statement, "Hey, Lewis, do you want to make a deal or a bet?"
To be
Yeah.
fair, I'm the one who said that.
Actually, no. Sorry, no. My bad phrase from that conversation was agreeing to it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
it was a
it
mistake.
But now it's on record and you have to stick to it.
In fact, most of probably the stupid things that I've ever said has just simply just been agreeing to stuff you've said.
Yeah, I mean, I say like the dumbest stuff. I'm probably the dumbest person you know. I don't think things through.
I
There's
mean,
I
more
think
you
you're the
think
most
things
will-
through.
I-
no, you think
I think
things through a bit.
no. I don't think
Let's
he's the
wang this
dumbest.
frisbee somewhere and see what happens.
No, I don't think he is the dumbest. I think he's the most willing to be dumb.
I like to think it plays to my
Sure.
archetype.
Most people aren't willing to look as big of a fool as Lewis generally chooses to.
But as you can see from my philosophical conversations with you, I'm not actually a moron. I sound like one, but I'm not.
No, you just don't mind acting like a moron every now and then.
Yeah.
Because you have enough self-confidence in yourself to know that you are.
Shockingly, being bullied for like 8 years of your life does that to you, Matt.
You were
I
bullied.
mean, have you been
Shocking,
stopped
I know,
bullying?
Josh.
Well, I mean, have you been? Has
I mean,
bullying stopped?
it's
I mean,
a
you're
little
still friends with
shocking.
No,
us.
Honestly.
it's just continued. You know, I turned 15 and everyone was like, "Ah, we felt bad for you then." And now that I'm 23 and not 20, everyone's like, "All right, now we're gonna kick you cripple." I'm not crippled either, but they made me so.
Wait, how did they say you were a cripple?
Well, they broke my legs and then they started calling me cripple.
Wait, how did they? Wait, hang on. Sorry, when did they break your leg?
He's not making any sense. This is the part where
That's
he
what I
just
was going to
talks,
say. Yeah,
and it's just words.
I was like, when did anyone
It's a
break your
defense
legs?
mechanism. Guys, come on.
Apart from me, has either of you broken any bones before?
No, because I have strong bones.
It's true.
Wow.
You just didn't drink enough milk, Matt.
What about you, Josh? Have you ever broken a bone?
No, I drink my milk.
I drank. Well, actually, I don't drink milk now.
You see? That's why you broke a bone.
Wow.
You didn't go...
Well, actually, Josh, you were there when I broke it.
I was.
The only other time that I have broken a bone was when... Well, hang on, when was it? It was like year... I want to say year 8 or year 9.
I'd say, yeah.
Actually,
9.
I think it was year 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was year 9. And what was it? I got shoulder barged by like a year 10 or 11 kid.
Yeah.
Fell down, did the classic thing of stretched my arm out to full extension, hit the concrete, snap. There goes my left wrist.
Well, it's not...
But-
But hey, when you fall
it didn't
over, do you
really
not like
happen
put
like
your
that,
arm in a
though.
90-degree lock?
No.
What is wrong with you?
I was year 9 and I didn't know what I was doing. Anyway.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
no,
so-
you were
well-
a kid once, right? Like, kids fall down constantly.
I didn't tend to fall down that much, I guess.
No, but you...
So
You didn't... Like, it didn't snap.
well, it didn't. Okay, fine. It
You-
didn't snap. I got what's called a green stick fracture in my left wrist, which basically is called that because kids don't generally tend to actually fully break their bones unless it's like a big bone. Certainly not smaller bones, because they're much more flexible, and so they generally tend to fracture more than they do actually break. And so basically, I had the bone basically fragmented. It didn't properly break, I don't think. And I just remember it like really aching.
Yeah. Well, it took a while for you to realize.
Oh yeah, it did. I remember I got up and you were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm fine. It's a bit bruised, I think, but I'll be fine." And I was absolutely fine. And I just went off to maths class. And then it was in maths class that I remember then, like, because it was my left hand and I'm right-handed, I was then trying to write with my right hand in maths class. And like I couldn't put any pressure on the page with my left hand because it was hurting that bad, and obviously the adrenaline was wearing off.
Yeah.
And then I literally ended up like sobbing my way out of the class with pain, being taken down to the reception area.
I was like,
"Wait, were you in that class, Josh?"
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, that must have done some damage."
I can't remember. Because I wasn't often actually in classes with you. Like that maths class was one of the very few that we actually were.
I
think
was
we were
in way too many classes with you, Matt.
Yeah, I was in a lot. You were with both of us. You were in Josh's classes a fair bit, and my class.
I was in one of Josh's class.
Actually, no. Sorry, no, just English. But
I was just English.
Was it only English?
The fact that we're friends is a miracle.
Yeah.
Well, you could say miracle. I could say tragedy, but
I'd say part of that was like form in college.
Yeah, that might well have been. Actually,
like we ended up spending.
I think our friendship properly started to grow once we were in college because we saw a lot more of each other. Like we saw each other in Gilbert, but we saw more.
We literally spoke to each other every lunchtime for about 40 minutes.
Yeah,
but I think it was also the fact that our friendship groups narrowed.
Yeah,
like
you stopped trying to hang with popular kids that you didn't like very much.
Well, it wasn't that I was trying to hang with them. It's just I ended up hanging around with them because we were in the same location.
You see, that was the issue.
That I didn't mind hanging out with them. And it was a lot more interesting and entertaining to hang out with them rather than being a kid that just sat by the wall all day for lunch doing nothing.
Oh, the wall's good though. It's safe.
The wall was good. You could like chill and talk to your friends.
Great listener to the wall, I have to say.
It is.
Great listener.
It doesn't judge.
Well, I mean, it says everything you say back to it.
Back
to you. Oh, it judges a lot.
It judges a lot. Makes you hate yourself over and over again. Cruel.
Yeah. It's just an echo chamber.
But no, yeah. So that was my experience of breaking my bone.
I've never broken a bone.
Yeah.
So the only thing I can actually make. So
I have.
Do you know what the thing is though?
We're both not.
Do you know what
neither of us are scum.
Would you agree with this thing that I put in the chat?
I would. It's
hang on, I haven't seen it.
It's very accurate, you know.
Wow.
It is incredibly accurate.
Wow. Rude. Just rude.
You should
it's
finish
so
it off,
brutal.
Matt.
Well, I was going to say, the only the actual strange thing, I can't actually believe that this actually happened, but when I did break my wrist, get sent down to reception and then get sent home, because it was fifth period anyway, and I actually went home and then slept with it. I didn't actually go to hospital.
That is an odd choice.
Wait, really? Oh, did you just have a ton of painkillers?
Well, not even a ton of painkillers. I think I may have taken some paracetamol or something. I don't know.
What?
But I literally went to bed that night with nothing on it. And it was the next day that I actually went to the hospital.
Why didn't you go to A&E?
I honestly don't know. Do you know what's even weirder? At that point, I was still in the same room with my brother in a bunk bed. So I climbed into a bunk bed on one arm.
What?
And a broken arm.
To be fair,
Jesus,
you can walk up a bunk bed. Frankly,
you can, but it's a little bit difficult to walk into one with only one arm and the other arm being broken.
You can
the other wrist
step up the steps.
I'm not sure he could so much with his, because wasn't it like a straight? Ladder
you
upwards?
can't. You couldn't very easily with mine because it's a very straight ladder.
Yeah, but
also, by the way,
I had a bed like that for a while. You just lean forward as you start going up.
Yeah, you lean forward. Yeah.
At some point, you still need to brace yourself with your arms.
No, you don't.
Also,
really.
I have to say that bunk bed
Balance.
was broken to all hell for years. Like literally, that thing would sway.
Oh my! why we
Maybe you were just playing some fire songs and it just wanted to like participate.
Like literally for like a good bit. Like I can't even remember. I'm trying to remember when that thing was. I had that in my bedroom. What's now my bedroom? That bunk bed was in my bedroom for probably, I want to say, a good portion of primary school, and I had it basically up until the end of secondary school.
That's weird. That's weird for me.
Or at least most of secondary school. It wasn't until college that we got rid of it.
That's interesting.
And then your brother moved out, and that was like optimal.
And then my brother moved into the other room. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, for a long time we had that bunk bed, and it would. I'm not talking like slight sway. I'm talking a good like probably 10-15 degree angle sway.
Jeez.
Wooden bunk bed, by the way. Wooden.
Oh, I thought it was metal.
Yeah, and not only that, but actually, no, yeah, it was wooden. Yeah.
Okay. God.
And it would properly sway and creak and everything.
That's
a little disconcerting.
That's like really, I guess, weird to me. Like still having, like, still sleeping in a bunk bed with your brother, like so late into.
Yeah, I guess.
Like this.
Well, no, it's fine. Like, obviously, families have like different relationships, and
my brother and I aren't close. We're not. Well, we're close, but we're not like, oh my god, my brother is my life, my BFF. Yeah. I can't live without my brother.
Well, the thing is, you would have been used to it as well, because that's like how it was for so long.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So like, it's fine to you, but then, like from an outside perspective, like, I would imagine that's not the case for most people around that age.
It seems like quite an oddly intimate thing to be doing when you're that age, but for us, it was just kind of the norm, I guess.
Oh yeah,
and we didn't see it as intimate either.
Well, yeah, because it's so.
We just end up pissing each other off.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, think about it. If you're in the same room as each other and you're trying to sleep, it would be very easy to annoy the other person.
Oh, I can imagine that was.
I'm so glad I don't have any siblings, because I would be the worst person to share a room with.
Lewis would have basically just committed murder.
Siblings.
I wouldn't have committed murder because I'm the one who would keep them awake.
Actually, no, that's true. That's very true.
I'm a nocturnal being.
Yeah, you would.
I think we've mentioned this. I think we've mentioned Lewis's sleep cycle before on the podcast.
It's great.
It was. It's not a cycle. It's a Jeremy Baramy.
It's a Jeremy Baramy.
That's probably the best description of it you could form. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm constantly in Janet's void, going in a circle.
Yeah.
Literally, I remember at one point, I want to say in like second year of uni, I was talking with Lewis at one point, and he literally turned around to me and said, "It's my exams are coming up, and I've come up with a great idea." And I was like, "Okay, fine, what's the idea?" And he went, "Yeah, oh, sorry, was it first year? Actually, no, sorry, no, it was first year. Yeah." He said, "Literally, this is Lewis coming up to summer exams, which are the most obviously important exams, and literally." He was turning around to me. He went, literally, he went, Matt, I've got an idea. I've got a great idea for the revision that I need to do for the upcoming exams. I was like, okay, great. What is it? And he went, okay, so I'm going to get to the library for 2. And I was like, okay, great. 2 in the afternoon. And he went, no, 2 in the morning. And I was like, sorry, what? He was like, I'm going to get to the library for 2 in the morning every day. And I'm going to study right through till basically the early morning. And then I'm going to sleep. I was like, you are clinically insane. He was like, yeah, maybe, but it worked.
It's so nice to like end your day with a sunrise.
Yeah?
I guess?
Yeah.
Basically, Lewis put himself on the night shift voluntarily.
Yeah, my suicide rate went up by like 50% or something.
You're...
But it's a statistic. If you work the night shift, you're more likely to kill yourself and die an early death.
I mean, that makes sense.
That probably has something to do with your circadian rhythm being completely off.
Yeah.
Listen, who needs it?
People.
I don't.
Like,
evidently.
Lewis, if you haven't... sorry, Josh, if you haven't already realised, Lewis isn't exactly what you would call people.
Rude.
He's anti-people.
This sounds like we're one step away from segregation.
Sorry, hang on.
Wait,
You're
what?
saying that's rude. Sorry,
I
hang
think
on.
she did a lower class citizen. and I don't appreciate
who was
it.
it? Who was
No,
it that called
you're
me an
just different.
anti-intellectual earlier?
I didn't say anything mean to you, Matt. You're making it up. This is gaslighting at its finest. Now,
you want to
no.
accuse of gaslighting?
Oh wow. We've stooped to that level this quickly. We're only 5 episodes in.
Yeah.
listen, Matt, I'm not a liar.
proud of
This
this, guys.
podcast has shown
I'm
that
really
I'm not
proud.
a liar.
I'm really proud of us, guys. That we managed to stoop to this level
I think
so
this is-
quickly. It's really impressive.
This is the
guys.
one
We
where I
should be proud
started
of
lying,
ourselves.
to be fair.
You're
were
a creative.
Only now.
No,
Only
you're
now.
You're
It's
not a
creative
liar.
truth.
Yeah, it's creative truth.
No, you're right, yeah.
A slight, yeah. a slight expense of the truth.
You just like telling stories too much. That's
Do
all.
I?
Yeah.
Listen. I've got
He
a
did-
story
he
to
did-
tell. And
He
Cartoon
did Dungeon
Network,
Master us.
if you're
He
listening,
did Dungeon Master us.
I'm ready. As we said in episode 1, this podcast is exclusively for clout.
Of course.
Pretty
Of
much.
course.
Well, at least with Lewis in mind. He's simply solely doing this so that he can try to get the attention of Cartoon Network, so that he can desperately try to get his animated story published.
So yeah, this is so Lewis can Lewis can write for TV shows. I can do
Make his millions and then tell us to sod off.
I can do music, and Matt, you can do history. So like, you can be a history celebrity.
A history celebrity.
Yes.
What am I going to do? Become the Neil deGrasse Tyson of history?
Yes.
Oh no, I think who does it? It's like Tony Robertson, right?
I have no idea who
To be
that
fair,
is.
you don't have much of a Baldrick in you.
Wait,
I
Not yet.
don't like.
I haven't
if
created.
I
I
was
haven't created a poem called "Sound of the Guns" yet.
If I was going to attribute a character from Black Alice to each of you, obviously Josh is Hugh Laurie's character, whose name
Hugh
I
Laurie?
just forgotten.
Which who?
Yeah.
Which
right,
character?
Yeah, I can see
Hugh
Josh's
Laurie's
Hugh Laurie.
character,
Yeah.
the lieutenant or the Prince Regent himself.
Lewis is 100% Stephen Fry's character.
I don't. It's been too long since I watched this.
You know,
No,
Let me
wait,
have a
hang
look.
on. No, wait, no. Lewis is the general character, and then Josh is the Secretary Darling.
I don't think Josh is a darling.
He's definitely Secretary Darling.
I could imagine myself being like, the general. Absolutely.
You're definitely the
insane.
general. You are the general. Ah.
Well, I'm not that bad. I think my plans are really what keep me going. There is
I think one of my-
a joke in my D&D circles, which is whenever I say I have a plan,
Oh god.
it will not end
Be
well.
afraid. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Run.
Shoot it
Whatever
down
you do,
immediately.
don't follow the plan.
You better start casting silence on me because the shit's going nuclear.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. You do whatever you possibly humanly can to prevent that plan from ever coming into fruition.
No one
let
likes
alone
my
being
plans because they
implemented.
want to take the easy route. I want to make it fun. Right?
What Lewis
And
means by
ensure
that is he
failure.
wants to try to put. Yeah, I was going to say, what Lewis means by fun is he wants to try to put his party in such imminent peril as quickly as he can.
Like let's say we're doing a heist. We haven't done a heist yet. Well, recently at very least. Then we've got to steal an object from a person. I want to come up with some elaborate, the kind of thing you would see in Ocean's 11. We're drilling holes.
You want
and then,
to do a
throwing
D&D
things out the
Ocean's
windows,
11.
and we've got multiple bags flying around that no one can keep track of, and leaving them in
You want
places
to-
that we never
Oh
get
my
seen.
God.
And everyone's like, "Let's just walk in and take it." I'm like, "No, we could make a little flying machine using a bunch of spells and rope, and fly a car by the building,
Oh my
and
God.
jump
So-
in
so-
with the bag of
Oh my
money
God.
and make a great getaway."
So Lewis basically wants to do an Ocean's 11 D&D edition.
Yeah, I do.
I mean,
You never get a good
I'm
heist.
be
going.
so
interesting.
glad.
You never get the
I'm so
opportunity
glad
to
I'm
do
not
one.
part of your D&D group. I'm so glad I'm not part of your D&D group.
Which one?
Anyone that has you in it.
that's fair.
I feel like feel like you're not appreciating the true power of D&D. But there's actually...
Oh,
this does
no.
bring me to
I'm
something I did wanna
appreciating
talk about
D&D
today.
and the power it has. But I'm just saying, I don't want to be messing with any party that has you in it unless you are Dungeon Master. Then I could tolerate it.
I feel like...
But if you're part of the actual posse going around messing up the world, I ain't being there to witness it.
Listen, my Dungeon Master skills aren't great. But,
I
you know what is
enjoyed
great? There's a spell called Rope Trick.
Rope trick.
So, I play
What are you doing,
3
playing
D&D sessions
hopscotch?
a week. I play a cleric, a monk, and a wizard. So,
Wow, that's a real assortment of characters.
right? So, here's the...
Why the hell are you playing that kind of mixture?
Because I wanted to play a cleric to support my Jacob, and I wanted to play a monk because teleporting a monk is cool, and I wanted to play a wizard because the most recent Unearthed Arcana was the Psionics Wizard, and the ability
Sorry,
to walk through walls really appealed to me.
I'm sorry, I just love how you were like, I'm a cleric because I want to support, and instead of party, it's just Jacob.
Well,
The rest of the party, the rest of the party doesn't need any help. They just need to support Jacob.
Yeah, they'll be fine. So, in my monk session, the person who DMs is Joanna, and Joanna has carefully banned Rope Trick from the game.
You hang on, wait, you're a monk with Joanna as dungeon
Yeah, but
master?
I used to play a wizard in their session.
Boy, you're adventurous.
I used to play a wizard in their session.
Oh, wizard's worse. Oh, wizard would be way worse.
They banned Rope Trick.
Okay, what does rope trick do
Aha.
then? Enlighten
So,
me.
Rope Trick is a second level spell for wizard and sorcerer, and I think for bard as well, but I could be wrong. Basically, it's there for wizard at very least. You touch a 60-foot piece of rope, it floats into the air and creates an extra-dimensional portal that you can hide in.
What?
Right? It lasts for an hour. It is not
I'm sorry,
concentration.
what?
And spells can't
What?
shoot through it. So you can hop out for a second, fire a fireball, and hop back in. And the enemy's like, well, I guess... Huh. They're 60 feet in the air, and we can't attack them.
I'm sorry, what?
I can understand why it's been banned.
So it's been banned.
That is mildly broken, to say the least.
So
It's a get out of jail free card
it's even better than that.
for an hour.
So, in D&D, teleport is a 7th level spell. Right? Because it's really powerful to be able to teleport on a whim.
I'm sensing a butt. I'm sensing a butt in that
There
sentence.
isn't a but. And teleportation circle is a 5th level spell, but requires you to like draw an area and then know some sigils to get around, and you know you've got to know a
Hang on. So what's the?
you have to know another
what's the difference
teleportation
between-
circle to travel places. But there's a spell.
Oh, okay. So that's the difference.
But
right.
there's a spell called Banishment, which if you banish a creature, if it's on the plane that it lives on, like its origin plane, it goes into like an extra dimensional pocket for a minute and comes back down a minute later. If you do it against a creature that is not a native to the plane it's on, it will get banished to the plane that it's meant to come from, its native plane. And it's random.
So if there's an extra dimensional being in your dimension and you cast banish on it,
It'll go home.
It'll get sent back to its home dimension.
Yeah, there's a save on it, but that can happen. Now,
Not a random dimension. It's
it don't.
home dimension.
But a random place in it.
Oh, but a random place in it. Right. Okay.
Now, Rope Trick creates an extra dimensional pocket.
Oh my god.
It is not the material
no.
plane.
Oh no.
And because
No.
because neither of them are concentration
refuse.
spells, you
I
can pop in
refuse.
there if you're in trouble, banish yourself, and appear
Oh my
randomly
God.
on the material
Oh
plane.
my god.
So
if you're in a battle that you know you are going to lose, you can just rope trick, get in, banish yourself, and appear somewhere absolutely randomly within the world you're on.
Yes. It's up to the DM, so they
hate
can
you.
screw you over by doing that. But
I hate you.
But it
I
is
hate this rule.
a very
This is
fun thing to have
ridiculous.
in your arsenal.
That is stupid.
It
is
is
very
really dumb.
Wait, hang on. Wait, does your uni lot know this?
No.
And
Well,
is there
probably,
any
but the thing
wizards in
the
your...
thing there though is that my D&D group at uni is playing up to 5th level for the moment. We're playing to like a fifth, like a
Okay.
level 1 to 5 campaign.
Okay.
But 4th level spell slots you unlock at level 7. So they'll never get there.
Right.
And we also don't have a wizard.
I was going to
This
say, do you have a
plan-
wizard? Yeah.
Is insane.
Yeah, that is mad.
And you might wonder, oh, okay, but there's 6 of you in the party, right? Like, you can't just do it, right? Only one of you gets away. Well, we have 3 spellcasters with Banish.
Oh my god.
My
And you only need
God.
1 rope trick.
Yeah, that's very understandable why that's
wow.
been banished.
It's been
Why
banned.
it's
Yep.
been banned, I mean. God.
Wait, hang
John
on.
didn't even
so
know
this-
this when
Wait, so
they
hang on,
banned
so
it.
could
It
you
was
all
banned
get
because
away?
of its actual effect. Its sub-effects are equally insane.
Sub
What's its
effect?
sub-effect?
Well, that's the depth of the banishment.
Oh, sure.
It has 2 incredibly broken interactions on it.
No. My head's going to hurt, I can tell.
It's,
Tell me, just tell me.
No, that's it. Well, that's what there is with rope trick.
Oh, I thought you were going to list off
Well, the
actual
sub-effect is the
sub-effects.
banishment thing.
Oh, right.
that's
Yeah.
I thought you were going
Yeah.
to say something extra.
No, there's nothing
I
more
mean-
to it.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
the only thing that would happen would be that, like, if it wasn't banned, you'd all use it, and then you'd all get screwed over. Because, I mean, that's
Yeah,
just
that's
such
actually that's probably
like a cheating
that's
way
probably
of-
the thing. I'd probably keep it in, but then if someone tried to do that, you could just then screw them over, because then when they then banish themselves back to the realm that you're on, you could just screw with them and then just plonk them back in the fight, or plonk them in a worse situation, or plonk them in the middle of a volcano and instantly kill them, or whatever.
Now that's true, but rope trick in and of itself is still incredibly powerful, because the ability to step out of the fight for an hour and then cast catnap on yourself so that you get a short rest, you regain hit dice, gain spell slots.
That's true. That's true.
It's very good.
That's true.
That's why that's banned.
Actually, wait. Oh,
Hmm?
I'm yawning now.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, hang on. Couldn't the Dungeon Master still screw you over, though? Because with Rope Trick, it places you into like a pocket dimension, but it says nothing about what's inside that dimension.
It's very clear what's inside the dimension.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like
What's
it's
inside
a space that can fit like 8 humanoid creatures, and it's an empty dimension. I believe. I will
fair
look it up exactly. So this happened because I was invited to an extra D&D session for the week, and I thought, I'm going to do it because I want to play this Psionic Wizard, and Joanna is playing a Psychopath, and I want to play a Psychopath, so we'll be like a dual partnership.
Wait, I thought Joanna was Dungeon Master.
No, that's in a different campaign. This is run by
okay.
Thomas, who I'm going to have a little bit of a whine and a whinge, so you have to bear with me.
Okay.
Do it. You're in a safe space.
I'm in a safe
Liz.
space.
Yeah, this
Um,
is the therapy session.
Oh,
I don't have my pipe with me. I need a pipe, I feel like, to be a therapist.
yeah.
I'm one of those lounge chairs.
Exactly, yeah.
Sorry, I read something I didn't mean to read.
Oh.
It's not like a spoiler or anything. But if someone casts anti-magic field while a rope trick is in the area, people get booted out of the rope trick.
Oh, wow.
Not super powerful, but it is annoying because that is a counter. But
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
to talk about difficulty for a bit, which Josh knows a lot
Okay,
about,
sure.
because we talked about last week as well.
Yeah.
So in the most recent D&D session I had, in Thomas's session, we're playing level 7 characters. And to give you a little bit of background on how D&D challenge works, is each creature has a challenge rating, and in general, although not always the case because of party composition and general like abilities on creatures that are very powerful that aren't meant to be that powerful, and like wrong categorization, but generally creatures have a challenge rating. If they're challenge rating 1, it means a party of level 1 adventurers, so 4 level 1 adventurers, could kill this thing, but it would be difficult.
Okay.
So we're playing the session at level 7, which means we can realistically fight about challenge rating 7 creatures. Thereabouts. We get put up against a Kraken. I don't expect many people to know what a Kraken is, but a Kraken is a challenge
that's
rating
impressive.
23 creature. And max level in D&D is
Oh.
20 flat. You can't go higher than that.
It's
What?
27 level.
No, it's 20. It's challenge rating 23.
Oh, I thought you said it was challenge level 27.
No, 27 is actually in base D&D. There is no creature of a challenge rating 27.
What's the highest?
30. But there's nothing
Which is-
between 30 and 24.
What's challenge level 30 in the game?
Tarask. Immune
What's that?
to like line spells or target spells or something. It's absurd. It has high AC, high hit, immune to most things, high health, legendary resistances, like high con.
What is it?
It's
Dragon?
no. It's a monstrosity.
What do you mean by that?
That's its class. Oh, it's like race type. It's like Tarask 5e. So
What's a monstrosity compared to like a monster? or a dragon or
Incomprehensible
whatever?
doom.
I don't know if this is.
That's what it sounds like.
I don't know if this doesn't have a picture of it. So I will provide a picture of it in the show notes
No picture could exist.
as well.
It's too. It's too
There is-
awful.
I have found a picture I quite like, so I will post this one to you as well. But the Tarask is like the most deadly thing in D&D, and I would arguably say it's actually not because of its movement, but on paper,
Oh damn!
it's very powerful.
That actually doesn't look that
Yeah,
bad.
that looks like well, I don't know. It's pretty big.
There's only
but-
one
Aren't
Tarask in
dragons
existence,
bigger than
by the
that?
way. Nope, about the same size.
Really? Okay.
Difference is dragons can fly.
Wouldn't that make them more dangerous?
Yes, which is why I find Tarasks aren't as dangerous as they claim to be.
Yeah.
I think dragons and kraken are generally more dangerous.
Okay.
And obviously, I'm fighting a kraken, so I'm going to state my opinion. When fighting a kraken, you fight in ocean. In ocean, movement is harder, generally. Swimming is awkward. You can be drowned.
Wait, what? So I've just seen the top thing of the Tarask trait. Legendary resistance. If a Tarask fails a saving throw, it can just choose to succeed
Yep,
instead.
3 times a day.
What?
Okay.
Has advantage on saving throws against magic
That's-
and spells.
Sure.
So it can fail it can fail a saving throw 3 times a day and still live.
If you
say
have a
no, I didn't.
monk and 2 portent wizards who roll insanely low on their portent rolls for the day, you can force a Tarask to instantly die.
What?
How?
So portent wizards, I will get back to this Kraken thing in a minute, I promise. But
Okay.
portent wizards have the ability to roll 2d20 at the start of every day, and at max level it's 3d20, and they can supplement one of their rolls with the roll that the creature rolled. So if you roll like 3 ones at the beginning of the day, and so does like the other one, they roll like another one, you have the monk cast Quivering Palm on it, which, if it fails the Constitution saving throw, it instantly dies.
Wow.
Okay.
Right? And the
That's
issue
a-
here is
That's insane.
the Tarask has a plus 10 to Constitution. So it has to roll below like a 6, generally.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this counts as magic. I don't know how this works. Like, I could be wrong about this, but I believe this is how it works. So if you have like anything below a 6 on your on your 4 portent rolls for the day, the monk does it once, Quivering Palms. Tarask like force passes it. Then you do it the next turn, and the next turn, and the next turn, out of legendary resistances. Guess what? Now you get instantly killed. So there's an exploitable strategy that only works in certain situations,
Yeah.
but it's doable. And the Tarask does a lot of damage.
Oh, I imagine.
Jesus, I've just seen other stuff. It
Plus
has,
19
where
to
it's like,
hit, 4d12 plus 10 piercing. If it's grappled, so if the target creature is grappled, and to the grappled exit, the target is restrained, but it can't bite another target, which means you have to pass a DC 20 saving throw to like get out, or like
Holy
acrobatics or
crap.
athletics check, which is really tough. This is why it's like challenge rating 30, by the way. This is sort of
Yeah.
like a campaign ender, in the same
Yeah.
way that a Kraken could be. So the Tarask can do
Bro,
all
I've
of these
just seen
wonderful things.
I've just seen another thing it has where it's like if it's targeted by a magic missile spell,
Yeah.
a line spell, or a spell that requires a ranged attack roll, it then forces the person to roll a d6. On 1 to 5, it's unaffected. And then if it rolls a 6, the Tarask is not only unaffected, but the effect is then reflected back at the caster as though it originated from the Tarask, turning the caster into the target.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, you just can't attack it with
That's fair.
cantrips, basically.
Yeah, you basically just can't attack it with any ranged magic spell
Got high
whatsoever.
whiz a bit, so in theory, if you're playing a necromancer of some sort, you can Toll the Dead it, because it's not immune to Toll the Dead, just has advantage on it.
Oh, only advantage. Only advantage.
And look at its AC. Its AC is 25, which means that it's really hard to hit this thing. Campaign ender.
Hit points 676.
So the Kraken is much weaker than this thing on paper. But if you notice, the Tarask only has a 40-foot move speed, right?
Yeah.
And it can't fly.
No.
Well, the Kraken has a 60-foot swim speed and it can move on land. So that sucks, first of all. And it has a 15-foot reach.
That hurts. 15-foot reach.
Sorry, 30-foot reach. My apologies. I halved it.
30
Oh my
Your movement
god.
in a turn can...
Yeah, so basically,
That's insane.
So basically, if that thing appears and you are inside its attack range, you can't basically move out of its attack range.
Oh, yeah. And it can grapple if it hits that attack. Has a plus 17 to hit, which means if you're a mage, unless you have magic items, you literally can't avoid being hit.
Jesus.
So you might think I'm exaggerating here. I'm not. So, like a default wizard with no magic items. You're meant to have magic items at this point, but I think this really emphasizes how the point I'm about to make, which is you shouldn't be fighting this thing at level 7, and this will come back in a minute. But I was a mage. I have 15 AC by default because we're playing with high stats generally.
Right.
So
Okay.
people have
Okay.
220s to help you through
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's understandable we're fighting high level creatures because we're generally more powerful than we should be.
Right, okay.
So I have 15 AC. The most I could get that up to is 18 AC with mage armor. If it rolls a 1, it will still hit me because it will be 1 plus 17, that's 18. 18, it's meet it or beat it. 18 to hit. I get hit. By default, I take the damage. So I literally can't be targeted by this creature. Otherwise, I will be hit and grappled, and I can't escape that grapple, so I will just be restrained and die. The Kraken
Yeah.
has 10 tentacles, so it can grapple 10 targets simultaneously.
Oh my god.
Right? If there is a creature grappled by the Kraken, it can be thrown 60 feet in a random direction, knocked prone, take a bunch of damage,
Oh my
and it can hit
God.
other creatures and whatever. But let's
How many actions does it get a turn?
3.
3?
Is it like the
Oh
what's
my
this thing called?
God.
What's the thing called? The Tarask. Is it like the Tarask in the sense that it can either attack, move, or some other thing? Because it has for Tarask Chomp, which costs 2 actions.
Oh, that's legendary actions. So legendary
Oh,
actions
so
are
those are
different.
legendary
These are a
actions,
special
sorry,
thing,
yeah.
which means you can only take legendary actions at the end of another creature's turn. So it attacks 3 times in its own turns with its tentacles, or at lightning storms, where it hits you with 3 bolts of lightning. So that sucks too, but you don't get grappled at least. But
Jesus.
3 times between the end of its last turn and the start of its next turn, it can attack 3 more times.
I hate it.
Right? It does a load of damage. It's genuinely a
This
very
is
dangerous
stupid.
creature, and
Nah,
it has
nah,
rights
nah,
to
this is
it.
stupid.
It also has
This is
resistance to
stupid.
bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing, and can't be frightened
I
nor
refuse.
paralyzed.
I refuse. No.
So I bring all this up because at level 7, you can't fight this thing. It has 18 AC as well, which is really quite high for having 472 health. Now, Thomas is an inexperienced DM. It's because he's an inexperienced DM. He wants to use all these cool creatures,
Hmm.
and I understand that.
Yeah.
But this is kind of the question I want to ask to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather fight something but have it be a set piece? And in this example, when we fought the creature, it was we could literally have sat in the pocket dimension the entire time and never attacked it, and it would have died about a turn later, maybe, because the ship and the crew were doing most of the damage. But like, we didn't have to be there, and we were sent on a mission. We didn't even have like the incentive to go and kill it because we wanted it dead. Would you rather have that happen as like a set piece, and fight a Kraken, or maybe never fight a Kraken, but have the creatures you fight be more of your level and not set pieced?
I feel like with D&D you can. I quite like the set piecey stuff because you can still you can still play around with it a lot and have like with a good DM you'll have like them like the back and forth between like the players and them creating new and interesting scenarios with it. So like having a set piece with like a predetermined final outcome is fine because it's all about like how you get there and having it be fun rather than just like rolling the things and having the strategy to get there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That isn't what I thought you'd say.
No?
I mean, you're allowed to have the opinion. I'm not going to stop you. Matt, if you try and have your own opinion, though, I will prevent you.
Yeah, not allowed.
Well, I mean, it's not exactly like I have an awful lot of time scale to work with to voice an opinion, even if I want.
You have the floor.
Well, I don't really have much of one either. Anyway, I mean, I just enjoy set piece stuff more with D&D anyway, so that would just be my general opinion.
But you're not allowed it.
Yeah, you're not allowed it. I have told you what you must use my opinion.
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it.
No, you don't. No need to. Lewis thinks for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were the options again? What were we talking about? I zoned out.
There aren't options.
I fully zoned out.
There aren't options. Lewis's.
What are we talking about?
Lewis's word is gospel.
What are we talking about?
I was asking if you would rather fight a Kraken, but have it be a set piece, so your input doesn't really make a difference, and you just sort of watch the fight happen, or would you rather participate in the fight but not fight such a grand, either the battle be awesome but you're not in it, or you're in it but the battle isn't awesome. Kinda. I wouldn't say it isn't awesome, but it's less sort of
satisfying.
There's less scale to it. It's not we beat a Kraken. It's we stopped a witch in her coven.
Okay. A. Because it would just be more fun for the dungeon master to describe that happening than B.
So
I think as long as you still have like quite a bit of input, but like
define input in that. Because
I wouldn't really care.
Like you're still fighting the Kraken, and things can still go wrong for you. But the DM's kind of messing with the numbers enough and kind of altering events
for me,
enough
when
to
it
make
comes
sure
to D&D,
there's a certain outcome.
It shouldn't really matter how much of an input you're having, because the dungeon master should be able to carry it and make everything fun and interesting enough that it shouldn't matter.
Well, you should be playing off each other.
Necessarily involved in everything.
I think because I think the problem is if you play D&D and it's a story, you might as well just watch a film. That's my taking on this. Obviously, you're entitled to your own opinion.
Sure.
I'm not going to stop you unless you're Matt. So I will stop immediately. Because I was curious what your thoughts were going to be. I'm going to offer mine and the tables more broadly.
Okay.
The table weren't awfully happy.
Oh.
They were very...
Oh dear.
I think the issue with it is they picked a creature that we knew quite well.
Okay.
And if you're acutely aware of the intricacies of the creature, you know when you're being handed a free win.
Okay.
If I know it has plus 17 to AC, which I do because I've looked at Kraken for the past 3 years, thinking, oh, could I use that as like a big bad or like a big threat in an ocean somewhere? Would it be too much? Like, I know it's stats. I kind of know when I'm being played.
Okay, so like by you being more experienced with it and actually knowing what you're doing to a certain degree, it lessens the kind of
Because I don't know how I would feel if it was against a creature I didn't know. Like an official creature. Homebrew creatures I don't know I'm not a big fan of, because often they're, like, insane.
Because I know if it was me, I would have, like, no... I really did, when we did this before, I really didn't have much of a clue what was going on most of the time. So if it was scripted, or if it was actually real, like, it didn't really matter. Like, I was just able to enjoy what was happening because it was pretty much all new.
Yeah, my first time doing D&D, I was a DM, so...
Yeah.
I never had
because I was there.
You were. My first D&D group was Josh and Matt and Petben and Marigold and Joanna.
Yeah.
It was terrible. Oh, and also Roman was there.
It was really good fun.
He was, yes.
Like right at the start. Like that was really good fun.
Dropped off very fast. I ended up with like 3 people left.
Yeah.
I think we were a bit inexperienced. I think if we came back together and did a new D&D session at some point, probably in person would be better.
You mean like the one that I tried to do in January that you said you were going to turn up to and you didn't?
No, I meant in person, not online. I think in person it works better.
First of all, I'm not entirely convinced. I think it has a better atmosphere sometimes.
But
getting people there is really hard,
group.
and like just being able to turn up for 3
also,
hours.
I think with a different group, other than Pet Ben and that lot.
Are you saying you don't like Pet Ben and that lot?
No, I'm just saying that I think it may work better if it was a different group.
Well, all I'm saying
Nothing
is
personal.
I've got an invite from Tom. He's saying that he's running a description system. I could ask if he's got some space open for you.
I'll have a think about it.
So that was our weekly D&D update. I didn't expect to have anything this week for D&D, frankly.
But we ended up actually having
my
something.
sessions have
Also,
mostly
it's a bit weird to have. Also, it's a bit weird to actually have the D&D session summarised at the end of the podcast rather than
I know.
at the start.
Well, we got distracted with philosophy, and it kind of span off from there.
We did. We got distracted with a lot of things.
This was a follow-up episode at heart, and I didn't touch some of the stuff that I had in my show notes. So I guess
follow up on it next
episode. We'll follow up on the things from 2 episodes. Well, from last episode, 2 episodes from them.
By episode 40, we'll still be following up stuff that happened in episode 10.
Probably,
the best kind of podcasts
Listen,
do though.
Yeah.
Just
we'll
never run
figure
out of content.
out what we're doing. We'll figure out what we're doing eventually. But until like 500 episodes from now, cut some slack.
That'll be season 2.
Oh,
That'll be season
like
20.
I don't know how you're counting. I think that sounds like season 2.
Well, to be fair, to put it in
was just
perspective,
random.
Squarespace I think does episodics up to about 300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So season 2 is, according to Squarespace, 301.
We're gonna start a new season before then, I'm sure.
Like, episode 500 is about 10 years from now. Just a quick warning, it's 2029.
Oh.
You're right, because we'll be doing this in 10 years' time. God, can you imagine
God, look
that?
back on this in 10 years when this happens. You're like, oh, God.
I can't imagine anything 10 years from now.
I'll set a timer. I'll set like a reminder on my phone.
Other than like...
It's almost... Do you know what's almost as weird is to think 10 years ago and think, my God, that was a decade ago.
Yeah.
It's weird to think 10 years ago I didn't know either.
Guys, 2009 is 10 years ago. The year before we joined secondary school. That was 10 years ago.
Making me feel old.
Please don't.
I know.
Don't.
And on that solemn note...
So if you enjoyed the show, do go back and watch episode 3. This was my 3 reminders for the show.
Yes, and I will also endorse that note because Bing Bong Theory is something I think we should all watch. Don't you guys?
Feel free to refresh the page, rack up the view count on that episode. We really need
Yes, yeah. Or just keep them running on a loop and get that watch time up as well.
Oh,
it.
and
Sure.
It's all appreciated.
if you noticed, by the way, that one of my thoughts on Bing Bong Theorem and Smallville got caught up halfway, I'll follow up on that next week.
Yeah.
I didn't finish my point.
Yeah. This really is the podcast of just half-assed ideas and opinions.
It's definitely crossed the line.